Catch it, match it, stash it in the cabinet. Listen to the chorus while let Ivan scratch it. This is real hip hop, we aiming for a classic. And if we can't approach it, screw it, we'll attack it. Catch it, match it, stash it in the cabinet. Listen to the chorus while let Ivan. This is real hip hop, we aiming for a classic. And if we can't approach it, screw it, we'll attack it. What you know about classic music?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Retro Wrestling Review Series, and we got probably the best retro that we've done in a while, but we'll talk about it, why that's the case in a second. But you should see the title of the video and know why that's the case. But let me introduce everybody first. First, with the man that produces all my stuff, the man that is one of the creators of WIW, and the man that's sporting a hat and is not happy that's muggy outside. Just if it's muggy outside, he's not gonna be happy about it. James the He-Man Hebrew.
I'm not sporting a hat because it's fucking muggy outside. Are you kidding me? Shit.
Oh, I'm sorry. I couldn't. My blue snowball's in the way of where you are, so that's
what the hell. What in the hell? God damn.
We have to do it again?
No, we're fine.
Oh, okay.
But goddamn.
This is live, man. We ain't.
Well,
no, it's all live.
We're recording. For now, until my Wi-Fi box gets fucking changed.
Yeah, I meant to ask you off air how come it's fine when we record stuff, but I'll ask you off air. But let's introduce the next guest, mainly a co-host at this point. Now, obviously, I was going to ask him ahead of time, but obviously that's off air stuff. Is this your first video since everything's gone down, or no?
I think so.
It might be.
I don't
so
think...
making his grand return to YouTube since Backlash 07 Retro, Casey Gallagher. I know it's a weird... because
if you're talking about all of YouTube since the Wrestling with EDC podcast, but, you know.
Yeah. But, making his first appearance on this channel since Backlash 07. It's pretty epic. We can't talk about why, but it's epic. So how are you?
I'm hanging in. Enjoying a bit of a late dinner.
I know, yeah. Don't feel bad that you're eating on air, by the way, because James has done that.
I've done that. I don't even know how many times. Goddamn.
Dude, were it up to me, that would be my gimmick instead of the wrestling encyclopedia. I'd just be eating on air all the time.
Oh, I don't know why. I meant to say that, too, as your catchphrase, but I wanted to say making your epic return to YouTube since, whatever. But today, we're going to be doing the retro Money in the Bank 2011. Now, you're probably wondering, whose pick is this? It's an everybody pick. Basically, anyone that could be on here, it's their pick. We pretty much realized that this show is going to get picked no matter who picks it, so we called this a mutual pick. It's kind of like you have to do this retro because Money in the Bank's coming up. You can't really...
Well, there's also a couple reasons why we're doing this. Is because Money in the Bank is coming up soon, and also because Collision is about to happen, and Punk's going to make his return. Again. Yeah,
so this is kind of a double... This ended up accidentally, if you think about it, being like a double retro for both companies. WWE for Money in the Bank, and AEW because... CM Punk's returning to wrestling for Collision. So
again, he's returning again.
Yeah, but he's returned. And obviously he's made the headlines recently because of his ESPN shoot interview that we may talk about on Spark. We're not going to talk about that here right now. So let's just start talking about this show. This is kind of weird. So typically, I talk about the state of wrestling. This is kind of a tale of two stories here with the state of wrestling. I think the best way I can talk about this is to tell you stories about it and stuff like that because wrestling in itself was pretty meh. Like, I don't think anyone really hated the business, but I have a lot of friends at this time that I was friends with and stuff that liked wrestling, and obviously friends that, I've become friends with during Massasoit days and everything like that have told me stories about this time period of wrestling, because John Tuddy, Nico's, I think, has told me the story, and I don't think Casey has, but I'm pretty sure everyone was in this boat where they were pretty done with the business at this time for various reasons, mainly because wrestling just wasn't cool anymore. So they were pretty much going to be done with the business entirely. And obviously, wrestling had let a lot of people down with various things I think we've discussed on this channel before, the invasion flopping. Go ahead, Casey.
What's up? So, the reason I was kind of done with the business around this time isn't because it wasn't cool anymore. It's because I could only watch the weekly product. And if you can't watch the payoff to all the storylines they're setting up on a week-to-week basis, what's the point?
That's actually a fair take. Actually, I never really heard anyone talk about that.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like being left out in the dark. I just kind of accepted that at the time because I knew we were broke as shit. But it's
people, that's one reason. Kind of going through the companies, WWE had consistently gone with, the safe options at their choices. They weren't really taking many risks anymore. They were mainly sticking to the guys like the John Cenas and the Randy Ortons. I know you like John Cena, Casey, but even you can admit they went to the well with Cena way too often.
They did, but I was there for it.
Yeah. Again, he's a mark. You can't hate.
I am the biggest John Cena mark this side of the Mississippi River.
TNA was really bad at this time. This was when Hogan and Bischoff completely destroyed that company, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, the company was already in bad standings. I mean, they started to somewhat get better because they were pushing heavily Bobby Roode, I think, around that time.
No, not even yet. The Destination X pay-per-view was coming up, so they was kind of pushing the X division. So
was this before or after Fortune turned face on Immortal?
So this would have been Fortune turned face on Immortal. This is kind of still roughly after Jeff Hardy obviously went out high on a pay-per-view and had that bad TNA match. Mm-hmm. The product was still pretty badly. The TV product was really...
To call that match bad is an understatement.
Yeah. But TNA was really bad at this time. I think they were starting to catch steam because they were starting to do... I think the Bound for Glory series had just started at this time, and it was pretty clear Bobby was going to win it, so they were kind of starting to push him. But this is still kind of a little bit of a ways up from that. We're still a few months away from that.
Yeah, they did so much damage that I think anybody they pushed was going to have a hard act to follow with how much damage they did. And, management, it can be the greatest thing if you actually book properly, and it can be the worst when you don't.
Yeah, so this is kind of doing that stage. ROH and New Japan were doing fairly well, but again, they didn't have that really mainstream exposure, so no one was really watching it at this time.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucks.
This is the HD net days for Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Which were not great, because the pay-per-views, you could barely watch them on that fucking service.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden, though, so again, a lot of people were about to basically give up on the business pretty much. They had been, either they couldn't see the payoff because they couldn't afford the pay-per-views. Basically, wrestling wasn't cool. They had been let down to the point with all these things that WWE would start up and just give up on and all that type of stuff.
Constantly.
Then, all of a sudden, a glimmer of hope opened up. It was June 27th, 2011. CM Punk dropped his pipe bomb, and I'll go into more detail when we actually break down the match and how it happened and everything like that. But basically, CM Punk dropped his pipe bomb, and basically wrestling became hard again, pretty much. When I say he broke the internet, by the way, that's no joke. Aaron Rift has talked about this on his YouTube shows and things like that. He broke NoDQ.com. So many people visited the NoDQ.com site that to read that news article, CM Punk broke Aaron Rift's website pretty much. He broke NoDQ.com.
I mean, not like that's that hard.
I guess boom boom. I don't know. I feel like that's
wow, my ass, boom boom.
But
my ass.
CM Punk basically cut this pipe bomb, and all of a sudden,
probably the second greatest work shoot in all of wrestling up to that point.
Yeah,
I assume the one you think is
the best one is Flair against Bischoff.
Okay, I thought the one Casey was referring to was the one Heyman did at ECW One Night Stand 05. I thought that was the best one he was referring to.
It's okay. It was fun, but
that was
that one was more of a shoot than a work, so we can't quite count it.
Yeah, really.
That's true. But yeah, this was basically CM Punk became like the hottest thing in the business since Stone Cold, pretty much. Just he was on fire at this time, and the way they went about the storyline, I really don't want to talk too much about it until we actually break down the match and stuff. But basically, CM Punk basically, when people say that CM Punk isn't a draw and never was a draw, like sometimes people just don't get it. I think his recency bias towards Punk recently forgets the fact that a lot of people were gonna quit watching wrestling had CM Punk not cut that shoot.
There was a lot of people that were gonna quit the industry before Punk did what he did.
Yeah,
within the industry for shoot, like they were done. They had no reason to stick around.
And it opened up a lot of doors. And basically, that's kind of where this, and it turned this pay-per-view in probably like the best built pay-per-view since I guess WrestleMania 26, but even then it was probably maybe WrestleMania 23. Because let's also talk about WWE did not hype their pay-per-views much anymore.
No.
Around this 2010 time, 2009 time, I think they'd only have a few matches announced. They would add matches on the day of the pay, legitimately during the show type of thing. It'd be so impromptu. That's how bad.
Yeah,
it was
I think WrestleMania 27 really burned them bad.
Yeah,
and this is a CM Punk.
I bought that pay-per-view. My uncle bought that pay-per-view. He didn't watch again until another 3 years consistently after that.
Yeah,
it took 3 years after the fact.
But basically,
that was the first Mania I ever watched live.
Yeah. I feel bad for. Wait, what? Oh yeah, I thought you would say it was 15, but that's the first Mania you actually watched.
Yeah. I watched 15 after the fact. A family friend had taped it for me. This one I actually watched on pay-per-view live as it happened.
Oh, I feel bad for you. I mean, my first one was 25, which a lot of people feel bad for me, but they're like, oh, well, at least you got to see Shawn and Take. At least that. And actually, we talked about it before. I don't want to. Mania 25 isn't actually a bad Mania. If you ignore the main event. So, but that's.
Ignore the main event and the women's battle royal, and it's a pretty good Mania all around.
Yeah, it is. Just skip that. Don't even watch that. You'll think it's the best Mania you've ever seen in your life. Probably not, but you want to think so. But yeah, anyhow, so yeah, this is just how bad it was. CM Punk basically was a pipe bomb, honestly. He really ignited a fire back into the business that hadn't been there.
Shot in the arm that the industry didn't even know it needed.
Yeah. And, a lot of things happened that come out of it that I think we need to kind of talk about this show to really talk about it. Because I feel like if I talk about it now, it will blow our load of everything we're going to say for this show. But basically, this ended up being the best built pay-per-view, I think, since WrestleMania 26, or if you even want to go further, WrestleMania 23 probably.
Yeah, because WrestleMania 23 was built.
Yeah.
And even that, they didn't really build everything on that show like this match. This whole card was changed off the back of what Punk did.
Not even that. I feel some of the stuff that happens on this show, if CM Punk doesn't cut that pipeline,
doesn't happen. Daniel Bryan would have never won the Money in the Bank, and granted, we know how much of a prick he is now, but Del Dipshit wouldn't have won the Money in the Bank.
Dipshit, I like that.
Fucking, Big Show and Henry wouldn't have lasted 3 fucking pay-per-views like it did. Fucking Tita wouldn't have. Which ironically was the best, was the second best feud on SmackDown by that point, by the way. Which is saying a lot. Christian and fucking Orton wouldn't have happened as great as it did. There's a lot of fucking things that were heavily impacted by the show, because you gotta imagine, WWE did a lot of cookie cutter copy paste booking by this point. Like, the only thing that broke the mold of that was Truth turning heel, which was
Yeah, we'll talk about that, yeah.
But, like, that was it. Like, he didn't even win the title off it. And he was in the Money in the Bank match, which was great, but, you know, shit.
Yeah, so let's go through the show. Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe this is the last pay-per-view of the first brand split. I know SummerSlam technically is the last one, but I consider this one the last one because they pretty much abandoned the brand split by SummerSlam by that point. I feel like this is the last pay-per-view with the first brand split. And I mean, this is going back, by the way, to the first brand split from 2002. That's how long this brand split lasted.
Yep.
Which is insane. It's kind of an end of an era in a sense. Kind of needed to happen, I think. I know a lot of people have had issues that the brand split ended, but I feel like the brand split,
there wasn't enough talent anymore. That's the problem, and a lot of people don't realize that. It's like, why did you abandon the brand split? Because they ran everybody off that they fucking could have built.
Yeah, pretty much.
Might have something to do with that.
The date of the show, very significant day, July 17th, 2011, the last day of CM Punk's contract. So,
and also my mother's birthday, funnily enough.
Oh, so there you go. Happy whatever birthday this would have been. So
I'll keep that one private.
Yeah. The city of the show was in Rosemont, Illinois. The venue was the Allstate Arena. The attendance for this show,
formerly known as the Rosemont Horizon.
Mm-hmm. The attendance was 14,815 buys, which, really good. I'll talk more about that because the Wikipedia talks about it.
Didn't they do like close to $750,000 mil at the gate?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, right after the pipe bomb, they fucking went and bought the tickets. Like right after that happened.
Yeah,
they didn't even know and then they fucking. There was outrage because Punk was suspended after that, and they thought it was a shoot at the time, so they like refunded it back, and then they bought it back in a fucking double the price, I think.
Yeah.
So WWE was making a lot of fucking money off this show, just off the fucking angle they did.
Yeah, because I'll read this now since we're on the subject. Yeah, so that 14,815 was announced in attendance, but it was later reported that 12,000 attendees had paid, earning WWE $750,000 by. The event drew 195,000 pay-per-view purchases, which was an increase of 18.2% from the 165,000 of the previous year's events, which obviously we know why that's the case.
Which, by the way, it's funny we mentioned that too, because when Punk came back for AEW All Out, that did around 205,000 buys, so... Yeah, I mean, his drawing power has pretty much been at that fucking mark for a long while, actually.
There's more, by the way. This contributed to WWE's pay-per-view revenue of $15.8 million for the third quarter of 2011, compared with $13.6 million for the third quarter of 2010. So there you go. If you guys like numbers, that's all numbers right there. And I know we're gonna do.
Say what you will about pro wrestling. But when it's done right, there is the potential to make goddamn bank.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when a company capitalizes on it, like the Fed did here, it's great news all around.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to talk about this because I feel like we shouldn't ignore this. I guess we could talk about it later. If this event does not, with the event being as successful as it is, because remember, this actually is what led to Money in the Bank being one of the big five right here, was this event being as successful as it was. Money in the Bank itself was always going to be a draw because people like the Money in the Bank ladder matches. But this event being as successful as it is, I think is what led to Money in the Bank becoming one of the big five pay-per-views.
Well, the only reason is because the fucking event sucked the previous year. It was dog shit. God, it was terrible. And it shouldn't have been, because you would think, oh, 2 Money in the Bank matches, that could be great. Well, the rest of the card was not as well built, and the event suffered, and it sucked.
But not here, though.
Not here. Not at all. This was a fucking great show, actually.
This event, who knows if this event, Money in the Bank could have become like the Hell in a Cell. I guess TLC is pretty well received, but it could have been the Hell in a Cell of pay-per-views pretty much if this pay-per-view is not as successful as it is. And in a weird way, They have CM Punk to thank for that, by the way. Like, without CM Punk, the Money in the Bank, who knows?
They'll never give him. They'll never give him. Well, Triple H gave him the thanks, I think, after they made amends. They did, yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah, they were. Yeah, they're cool now. Vince will never fucking do that.
Yeah,
he will never give any credit to fucking what Phil did for him, at all.
But yeah, let's pretty much. I think that's everything hype wise going into the show. Let's go through now. Obviously, the commentators and everything. Commentary team for the English side of things was Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, and Booker T. I always forget Booker T was on the call for this show. I always remember it was just Cole.
Yeah, Booker T changed his pick like 700 times during the Money in the Bank matches.
And Jerry the King Lawler is going, "Where's my goddamn royalties, Booker?"
Yeah, that's my shtick. Why are you stealing my shtick? And he's fucking playing along like, "Hey, wait, I thought you said Kane was your pick. That was earlier in the night."
That was hilarious.
See, this is where Booker is tolerable, man. When you just have fucking having a good time like this.
Booker was probably at his best here as far as his commentary goes.
Yeah,
and I love me some nonsense. God knows, I'll tell you, I'm like, as far as talkers go, I'm like a huge Dusty Rhodes fan. And when Booker T is just in the moment spewing nonsense, I'm along for the ride.
We gotta which reminds me, we gotta do that TNA show with the Main Event Mafia takeover still, and fucking, I'm not Booker T isn't here, I'm Black Snow.
I have a perfect time to do that, because Impact's doing the 100th episode soon, I think right around that
I agree, and plus it will line up right when OSW does their release of that episode, so there you go.
But anyhow, so yeah, I actually thought the commentary was fairly solid for this show. It's heel Michael Cole, but you could definitely say he's dialed back so much more now because now that WrestleMania program
still fucking annoying here, though. Oh my god!
Not
as much, but he was fucking annoying here.
Considering the fact that we just had to recently listen to him at Royal Rumble 2011, I'll take this Michael Cole any day of the week.
Yeah,
so.
But still, Jesus Christ. He's still fucking a cheerleader, bro, for every heel, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
and Jerry the King Lawler was. It would take how many months after this until Lawler's heart attack?
2012.
Yeah, 2012.
Fuck. November.
September.
Okay.
Yeah, but so Jerry the King Lawler I thought was solid. Weirdly enough, Booker T was really good, and you know what the funny thing is? I have that comparison now. I watched this show and then watched NXT from this week right afterwards. Big difference, by the way. I don't know what happened because I don't think he's being micromanaged or anything like that. You'd think he'd be. He's one of those guys I think you need to micromanage behind the booth because when he's left to his own devices, oh my god, is he bad? I know because James, you had to watch an episode of NXT recently. He commentated. I don't know what you thought about it because you didn't talk about it on that aftershock. But yeah, it's bad. He's not good behind the booth. When he's left to his own devices. When you micromanage him, he's much better. It's weird.
Yep.
Spanish commentary team was Carlos Cabrera and Hugo Savinovich. I like hearing them on commentary for like the 2 seconds we heard them, but anytime AAA does a show, I always listen to the Spanish commentary team.
And then they go, what they said. then Booker T goes, I got one thing to say to them. What's that? Que pasa? That means what's up.
That was so funny.
We'll get back to Spanish. We'll get back to Spanish a little bit later in the show. Oh, James, you might already have an idea of what I mean.
Oh god. Okay. Owen?
I didn't see anything because what happened?
I don't know. What do you mean what happened?
I thought you were doing something.
You just stopped talking.
I thought you were gonna say something.
Take your blue snowball away from the fucking screen, goddammit.
No, I have Wikipedia open at the moment. That's
right. Okay, go.
So the ring announcers were Tony Jimmo and Justin Roberts. Tony Jimmo ring announced all the SmackDown matches, and Justin Roberts ring announced all the Raw matches. So there you go.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't this one of Jimmo's last pay-per-views for his first run?
He was with the company for a while still, but I don't think he really did much ring announcing anymore. But he did. Obviously, he was part-time by this point, so.
Yeah, I remember watching SmackDown and listening to whoever doing the ring announcing. I'm like, God damn, I miss Tony.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then come the 2012 Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
Where did I see?
Did you see?
I'm like, yes!
Superstar! Edge!
Have you ever watched the 2017 Hall of Fame when Beth got inducted?
That was...
Did he do that for her too?
No, what he did, she was thanking everybody, and he comes out, and he's like, "Wait a minute, Beth, hold on.
Maybe I can be of assistance."
That's pretty much what he did. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was so awesome. But yeah,
I love Tony, man. I miss Tony.
Yeah. We've done career retrospectives, I think, on him before, so we don't need to do it for him again. As well for Justin Roberts. The referees for this show were Mike Chioda, John Crone, Scott. I almost said Scott D'Amore, but no, Scott Armstrong, and Charles Robinson.
You imagine Canadian bacon in a WWE ref shirt?
That would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are all the referees. I thought all the referees did really well. I think we've done career retrospective. Let's just get this out of the way now. I think everybody that shows up on the show, we've done a career retrospective on, so I don't have to keep saying that throughout this show.
There you go.
Even though, I bet a lot of people would have wanted that to be a drinking game. I just put an end to that right now, so no one's getting drunk. No one's getting drunk now. So
exactly. There you go.
Oh, I mean, the night's not over yet. I mean, what?
Yeah. It'll be over by the time we're done recording this, though. So
it will be, and then we'll be waking up ass early in the morning. At least Casey and I to fucking record shit. That'll be fun.
But yeah, going through the show, we had an awesome intro video package that basically showed the build up to the WWE title match with everything that CM Punk had been doing. He was basically, the poster of this show, which is funny because you could definitely tell this was a change because the poster of CM Punk's not even on the poster of this show. It's Big Show and Hornswoggle randomly.
Which was so fucking weird, bro. That's so cursed. That's such a cursed image. Hold on, I want to find that too. Just so I can share the screen.
Big Show's at least on the card. Why Hornswoggle?
Because he, pot of gold. He's a leprechaun. That's
yeah.
Don't you get it, Casey? Are you not sports entertained?
Wait until you see what the poster is. I mean, I know you can just look it up for yourself, Casey, but
no,
wait until James finds it.
Yeah, because I can actually show it on the screen here.
Yeah.
2011 poster, and I guarantee you it'll be one of the first options, man. This was fucked, and here it is.
Yeah, it's so weird.
I gotta fucking blow the fuck up out of this. Hold on. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna share. And there. So yeah, this is the poster. What a fucking train wreck. Like,
right.
Like, why is Big Show a pirate? Is my first fucking question. Why is he a pirate? And then you got Hornswoggle, he's a leprechaun pirate. And then, who's even climbing up the fucking to get the briefcase? I have no idea.
Oh yeah, let me look at that.
Yeah, hold on, we can zoom in. It's blurry to shit, but it looks like... I can't... It looks to me like that might be Kofi Kingston, and that's specifically from 2010 Money in the Bank. That is... Justin Gabriel, where they must have done a studio shot thing for.
Yeah, because he wasn't in Money in the Bank before.
And then they just randomly have Morrison just doing the Starship Pain. Why is he doing the Starship Pain in the book, but he's supposed to be the cover? And then...
I don't know.
And then he's grabbing the briefcase of the Money in the Bank logo, and then you got fucking Dolph Ziggler just taking a tumble.
Yeah, it's Dolph Ziggler. I feel like I think I see Cody Rhodes too in there. So.
No, that's just the bookmark in the frickin' book.
Okay.
That's the bookmark.
Okay.
Cody Rhodes is the bookmark. Are you saying he's Stardust? Is that what you're saying, Casey?
No. Keep in mind he would have been in his not so dashing character phase by this point.
Whoa!
But yeah, go.
Which, I'm glad that you mentioned that because I could do the impression of his theme now. Whoa!
I liked it. I liked that theme actually.
It was weird, but yeah.
It was
Dale Oliver, Dale Oliver, get on this man's level.
But anyhow,
what? No, it was Jim Johnson. Unfortunately,
I know, but that sounded like a bad.
It was towards the dying days of his fucking music career. Let's be real. I mean, Jim Johnson kind of fallen off a little bit.
But yeah, going through, the set for this show was pretty good. It was basically like the screen was like a big Money in the Bank briefcase, and then it was kind of like ladders around it.
Yeah, this was a fucking awesome set, by the way.
Yeah, I liked
this set was really awesome. Like I love that the Titantron was the briefcase, and you had the money trucks and the fucking like the metal ladder trusses as like the side beams. That was this is a top 10 type of fucking if you're doing strictly WWE sets, this is the top 10 for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Especially, I feel like too after this set, probably they start to fall off. I think again too. So
I wonder why. What a coincidence.
It just sucks as it shows when they actually give a shit. They can actually put off some like great sets. It's like they knew a lot of people can stop buying this pay per view. It's like okay, let's pretend we've been doing these sets all these times. So.
It's almost like everything that they do. If they actually put effort in, they're actually good. What?
Yeah. I guess I should really talk about this. If you watched Capital Punishment 2011 and watched
that set's good too, actually, by the way. That set's pretty good.
Yeah.
Shitty pay-per-view, great set though.
But if you watch the whole pay-per-view, because Brian Zane did this for Wrestling with Regret, it's a completely different company. You would think it's like someone completely different took over the company for like a month or something like that. And there's a reason I say for a month, because we'll get into that later. But yeah, we'll talk about that. But yeah, let's get to the first match on the show. It's a SmackDown Money in the Bank ladder match for a World Heavyweight Championship contract. Sin Cara versus Wade Barrett versus Justin Gabriel versus Sheamus versus Cody Rhodes versus Heath Slater versus Daniel Bryan versus Kane. No real storyline to this match. It was just kind of a Money in the Bank match. They do this thing always, which I'm glad they've gotten away from now that I hate, where they would just announce the competitors, why they wouldn't do any qualifying matches or anything like that. I always hate that. I feel like you should earn your way into the Money in the Bank ladder matches. I know a lot of people get in my case. I know a lot of people get on my case. How come you don't have that issue with the Royal Rumble match? Because the Royal Rumble, I think, is one of those matches it's like a lottery type of thing where you can just call your shot.
30 fucking people. You can't find 30 people in the back to fucking choose from that deserve to be in the Rumble. I mean, come on.
But,
I mean, they missed the mark with only about like 10 of them, so you know.
Yeah. But so there was some feuds going on here at this time. Cody Rhodes and Daniel Bryan were in their feud at this time, where they were kind of having matches with each other at this time. They were just having matches, not much of a feud, but it was somewhat of a feud. The core had just broken up, so there was kind of that feud going on in here. Daniel Bryan and Sheamus were feuding with each other from the U.S. title feud. And I guess Kane had a history with the core since they had a history there. Sin Cara, this version of Sin Cara anyways, was very new to the company. Very new to the company. I stress that. I can't stress that enough. He was very new to the company at this time.
Mystico never sucked. When you shine fucking giant LEDs in his fucking eyes, no wonder he botched. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. By the way, notice, because it's a multi-person match, they don't do that. I don't think he didn't really botch in this match. So.
Oh, gee! Who would have fucking thunk it?
Yeah.
Not to say that he was off the hook, though.
Well...
he wasn't, but...
No, I think he had, like, one... Well, did he?
Well, we would talk... Not a botch, but the one match in which he doesn't botch.
Yeah, he gets fucked up.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
We'll get to it.
But yeah, so heavy favorites for the match at the time would have been Sheamus or Wade Barrett. You know, Sheamus because he was a company guy at this time. They were pushing him to the World Heavyweight Championship picture. And Wade Barrett because we wanted him to have that nice recovery push. But CM Punk's promo is about to change that. Let's talk about it. Going through the match, everyone gets into a brawl with each other. They just start fighting with each other. You really can't control each other, which I liked. everybody does a cool dive on each other. Sin Cara does a dive. Daniel Bryan does a suicide dive onto somebody. Kane does a flying clothesline to the outside, which was really awesome. Heath Slater even hits a.
This might be a little bit later in the match, but I seem to remember you were talking about the core having just broken up. I seem to remember Heath Slater and Justin Gabriel getting together and beating on Wade Barrett for a bit.
Yeah,
and
that does happen.
And I saw some of those shots. Those shots were fucking stiff.
Yeah, they sounded stiff too. Yeah.
I heard some of those kicks, and I'm like, God damn, does he owe you money?
Yeah, because they kept telling the guys when they were a part of the Nexus, like, hey, be stiff with everybody. And so they just never got out of that mindset because Vince said, no, be stiff, be stiff. It's like, and then when they were too stiff, they're like, we gotta de-push you, pal. I was like, you told me to be fucking stiff, you cunt!
Yeah. But yeah, Heath Slater does even a cool dive on this. I think that one was to Barrett. Cody Rhodes goes on fire. He lays out a ton of people with crossroads and everything like that, which was awesome.
His bro kick chain.
Yeah, he gets that going.
He was the second person that was the most over in this match, by the way. Like, genuine, he was over. Like, over, which was weird.
And I think this is the...
And he was a heel at the time, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And I think this match was the match that turned him babyface and everything like that, too.
And then they fucking ruined it.
They did that. And
it's almost like they should have just done what they did when they turned him face against Mark Henry, and then he would have been a bigger star. Just saying. Sorry.
Yeah. Sin Cara hits an awesome dive. He hits the Spanish fly onto Daniel Bryan in the match, which was awesome.
There was like a whole dive sequence, wasn't there? But with everybody?
There was.
That was cool.
Sheamus lays out Sin Cara with the blow kick, and we'll just talk about it now. This is when Sin Cara gets the power bomb, and he goes directly through the ladder.
Like,
destroys Sin Cara pretty much.
Booker, as fucking Sheamus is picking him up for the power bomb. Everybody's freaking out, and Booker just goes, "He's not gonna do that."
Yeah.
What else was he gonna do? He has him in the power bomb formation.
Yeah. But yeah,
all right.
But yeah, I did like how the commentators sold it though really well. You know how much of a big bump this was and everything like that. I thought that was awesome.
It was a great bump.
There's a bit. It's like
he has a seizure. I don't know if he was selling or if he legitimately got fucked up from this.
Yeah. Apparently they had to do this spot too because they had to. I'll talk about this now. They had to write off Sin Cara because he got suspended due to steroids, I think, or something. So,
that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yep.
So they had to write him off TV.
Okay, so he was selling then.
Maybe I don't know.
He was definitely selling. Actually, maybe I don't know anymore. He might have been fucked up.
Yeah, see, that's what you could say. Why I'm even saying that. In the beginning portion of this match, what I liked is they had all the big guys go at it with Kane, Sheamus, and Wade Barrett. Fun fact: this was the last match Kane had unmasked. I think until 2015 when he becomes Corporate Kane. So that's on pay-per-view anyways. So that's pretty cool.
I guess.
But
I will say I love that Sheamus had him in the electric chair trying to get rid of him somehow like he did with Slater earlier. And then cuz they dump him out onto Wade Barrett and he crossbodies him because of it. And so he was going to do the same thing to Bryan with an electric chair, and then Kane catches him in the air with a fucking clothesline. They did a doomsday device spot here. And
that was awesome.
Yeah! Do it again!
It was an accidental doomsday device, too, which was awesome, too.
I love that. That was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. What else? Obviously, the core working together. They just start beating everybody down, just destroying everybody. And then Wade Barrett has Slater and Gabriel basically guard so he can win the match. And this is where what Casey was referring to earlier, where they turn on Barrett. And they go up. Cody Rhodes hits a springboard missile dropkick, just completely taking him out. And he starts laying everybody out with crossroads. I think he does a crossroads off a ladder onto. I think it was Bryan. It sounds like that makes more sense. It's like, whoa, what are you doing that for?
Yeah, Booker T kept saying, "My main man D-Brat, he's gonna take it." Oh wait, Kane's on a mission tonight. Oh wait, Sin Cara, he's my pick, and then he gets powerbomb. Okay, Cody Rhodes, he's my pick. And he just kept fucking changing his pick. Wicked.
I think what I loved about him on commentary too, it was right before the match even started, because this is kind of like, even though it was like when SmackDown was still going on, like Michael Cole had to explain to Jerry the King Lawler what Booker T's Fave 5 was.
Yeah, he changes every week, he says.
I even loved at one point though. Booker T's like, okay, let's just get to the show. Let's get to the SmackDown. Like, he was so excited SmackDown was kicking off the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I remember when he fucking first was drafted to SmackDown in 04, and he's like, I hate SmackDown. Put me back on Raw. And then now he's a SmackDown cheerleader.
It's awesome.
I love continuity in wrestling. It makes zero sense.
It's even more ironic because we've done this retro before, because he ends up defending the SmackDown GM Teddy Long at WrestleMania 28 not long after this too.
Yeah, it makes all the sense in the world.
It's awesome.
Well, I mean, Teddy Long is Teddy Long. No matter what you say, he's goated.
He is goated. He is goated. And don't say otherwise, or you'll have a tag team match with the Undertaker player.
Holla.
Yeah. Continuing with the match, Kane does a one-handed chokeslam on Heath Slater. Like, that was insane. That was great strength by Kane. I couldn't believe he was able to do that.
Yeah, dude. He fucking chokeslammed the shit out of Barrett onto a bridge ladder at one point.
No, that was Sheamus.
Oh, was that Sheamus?
Yeah. And then, everybody basically realizes at this point they have to take out Kane. So Cody Rhodes does a disaster kick. Barrett does a wasteland. And Justin Gabriel, while there's like a ladder.
Dude, this was such a great spot. Does a 450 off the ladder that was bridged on the top fucking rope, dude.
Yeah. They brought tiniest amount of space, and Justin Gabriel pulls it off.
Dude.
Why they let him go, I will never know.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Awesome.
Funny thing is, I think it was a Vince call, but that was also a Triple H call, because I think Justin Gabriel did an interview where he talked about Triple H never saw anything in Justin Gabriel, which is just insane. Because he was in NXT of like black and gold, like he was like one of the originals down there, if you remember, by the way. So yeah. But anyhow, continuing, Daniel Bryan gets on a roll. He does the LaBelle lock. I believe he does that to Cody Rhodes while he's on a ladder. He does like a guillotine while he's on the ladder. Like, he was just spamming submissions onto people. Like crazy, which was awesome. Slater does a neck breaker off of the ladder.
All the finishers.
Yeah, it was awesome. Then it comes down to Daniel Bryan versus Wade Barrett. And Michael Cole's very annoyed about this. He's like, Daniel Bryan just won't go away. He's like rooting for Daniel Bryan. We've talked about this before. We won't talk about it again. But this is basically Vince, what Vince would say if this was happening. But Vince was a bit busy.
Really
kayfabe.
Yeah, he really doesn't like Bryan at all.
Yeah. But eventually Daniel Bryan, starts kicking at Barrett, and he kicks Barrett off of the ladder finally. He lands right onto the bridge ladder, and he grabs the briefcase, and he wins the Money in the Bank briefcase, which was a surprise to everybody at the time. No one expected that it was going to be Daniel Bryan of all people. Let's also talk about this, too. Daniel Bryan at this time, it's like his stock in the company was not very high. He was jobbing out left and right on SmackDown. And, like, the fact that he went here and won the Money in the Bank briefcase.
They said he had a fucking bitter rivalry with Cody Rhodes, which most people would see on fucking Superstars by this point, by the way. So that goes to show you how far their stock went down.
Yeah, so this was awesome. This Money in the Bank ladder match ruled. I couldn't even. I think I broke down most of the spots, but I feel like there's some spots I probably missed. But you just really have to check out this Money in the Bank ladder match. It's probably like one of the best Money in the Bank ladder matches. Like, if we did like a top 10, top 5 list, it'd at least be in the top 10.
This is probably top 10.
It was great.
I gave the match 4 3/4 stars. I thought it was great stuff. The right person won. We do have to defend ourselves here, because we just did a rant recently talking about well, wait a minute. They were jobbing out Jack Swagger left and right. How come it's all of a sudden fine? How come it was bad when he won Money in the Bank, but Daniel Bryan, the same thing happens to him. It's fine when he wins Money in the Bank.
Because Daniel Bryan never should have been jobbed out, and Jack Swagger's not as fucking talented. That's why. There
you go. And, he has the underdog thing that worked out for him. Plus, it didn't take Jack Swagger. It didn't take Daniel Bryan 2 minutes to unhook the briefcase. By the way,
that is true. That is true. It took him about 10 seconds, in fact. So,
and he took bigger. I think it.
There's also the fact that Jack Swagger cashed in 5 days.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan has it. Yeah, but anyhow, before we go through the match, Casey, your star rating for this match and your overall thoughts on the match.
I'm going to say 4.5. This was a really solid Money in the Bank match. Good carnage all around. Lots of nice little callbacks to rivalries that were happening.
Yeah.
There's really a lot to like here. I really don't have any complaints.
I agree.
James?
4.5. It was awesome. I had a fun time watching this.
Now, we should probably talk about this later, but I'll bring this up now. Weirdly enough, the World Heavyweight Money in the Bank matches, up until they, ended the brand split, or not the brand split, but got rid of the World Heavyweight title part of it anyways, would always be the better Money in the Bank ladder matches.
That was kind of true here, too, but I don't think the other one was necessarily bad.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. I just always noticed that was the case. I'm not saying that they would always be the better match, which is just weirdly enough.
Yeah.
By the way, I feel like too we should give credit to Kane, in the sense that a lot of people talk about like Shelton Benjamin and like John Morrison being like great Money in the Bank. I feel like Kane needs to be a contender for great Money in the Bank competitors because he's really great in the Money in the Bank.
I wouldn't necessarily call him great out and out, but he is definitely underrated.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, I feel, because he doesn't do the big spots. He always does something memorable in the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, it's called he's big man and he hurts people in the fucking match.
That's all he needs.
All he needs to do. He doesn't need to fucking dive and get hurt. He just needs to hurt. He needs to be the hurt.
Yeah. I mean,
his biggest weapons are his fists.
The most memorable thing I ever remember, actually, it's not even when he actually was in the Money in the Bank ladder matches. It was when his pyro went off and like the flames blew up the ladders.
Love that.
Wasn't that at 21?
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, the first one. And by the way, that's everything you just said. That proves how much of a threat he was because everyone tried to attack Kane before he even gets in the Money in the Bank ladder match. It's like,
and they got fucked.
Yeah, they did.
Hey, don't forget, Kane would go on to have rape. He was a baby face somehow, even though he raped a woman during that time. So they must have really not liked that, so they were attacking him for it. Maybe they smartened up.
Funny thing is, I haven't talked about this. That's actually the first exposure I ever had was wrestling. Was the WrestleMania 21 Money in the Bank ladder match. So it's the first match I ever saw. Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
My cousin
start with, dude.
My cousin had it on DVD, and funny thing is, I didn't even know about any of that stuff. I was into Kane. It was like, cool, he just lit ladders on fire. I didn't know about pyrotechnics.
He just lit ladders on fire. He has superpowers. He lights shit on fire.
I didn't know about pyrotechnics back then, so I just thought he was lighting shit on fire.
So Kane was your first favorite wrestler, and he was your favorite wrestler for about an hour.
Yeah, because then I saw The Undertaker, and I was like, yep, that's...
yeah, that's true. He can do lightning, but that can cause fire.
Yeah.
Very true.
He got superpowers. Oh my god!
This is for another retro.
Why is Owen all of a sudden just Jim Ross?
Yeah, why not? Go ahead, Owen.
But yeah, this is for a different retro. You should have heard my reaction back then when I was 11 years old when I found out Kane and The Undertaker were brothers. I was so happy when I found that out.
Yeah!
And then I was so sad when I found out they weren't really brothers all along. I was like, oh, come on. Like,
yeah, that ruined kayfabe for you, didn't it, buddy? He was just like, goddamn. One could shoot fire out of his hands, and the other one could shoot lightning. This is bullshit.
You were gonna say out of his ass.
Shot fire out of his ass. Yeah.
But yeah. Funny thing is, like, I knew about all this other stuff was like kayfabe, but the day kayfabe was dead was when I found out Undertaker and Kane were.
Oh my god, Kane! What the hell did you eat from Taco Bell the other night? Sorry, Taker. I had way I had way too many burritos. Oh, God. It smells like it came from the hounds of hell. Jesus Christ.
But anyhow, let's move on.
Yeah, right out of his ass. Cage just fire from his ass.
James, have we done? We have done a. Oh yeah, I was about to ask if we've done a career retrospective on this version of Sitcom, but I did it at 90.
A career retrospective on Kane's fucking flaming ass. Yes, we totally did.
No, if you want a career retrospective on Kane's flaming ass, just go to his Twitter account.
Yeah. Yeah. Glenn Jacobs. Yeah. I do. Politics suck. So yeah, fucking Mystico, right? Where we need to do a career retrospective on him.
No, we don't, because I did it at Night of Champions 2012, so we don't need to do that.
Good. Okay, good. Yeah, because the less said about that, the better.
But yeah, again, this is one of the positives of the pipe bomb, because the pipe bomb doesn't happen. Brian probably doesn't win Money in the Bank, and who knows if he ever would have held a world title in that company. Just think about it. Even with the pipe bomb, they still tried to keep the world title off him.
Yep.
So
pretty much, they were still burying him on a Superstars a lot of the time as well, didn't they?
This is when Vince had this mindset where like he would have the Superstar win the Money in the Bank, and they never won any matches. They would go on like this massive losing streak for no reason until they cashed in, which doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I've ranted about that enough. And then Vince was wondering, wait, why is this guy not over now that he's champ? He had the briefcase all the time. Well, maybe because he lost so many matches before when he was the Money in the Bank contract.
Then they turned him fucking heel, by the way, and it's like, oh, well, he's over now. Let's kill him.
Mm-hmm. But anyhow, continuing.
Mad about, pissed. Still to this day. Fuck that.
I don't know. I can't really say fuck that. Because
I don't know.
Because they were mad to the point that they took over Raw.
That's fair, yeah. I don't know. Fuck it. It's stupid.
But
it's bad booking, but it worked out in their favor.
Yeah.
But anyhow, continuing with the show, it shows earlier in the day Vince McMahon, John Laurinaitis, which, that's not good to see, knowing what we know now. And some lawyer.
They just got back from the fucking from the brothel they were visiting earlier before.
But
spent more money on hookers than they did WCW.
Yeah. And they decided to take Vince's attorney along for the ride.
Yeah. We got an extra $3 million for you. Come on, pal. We'll worry about Punk later. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. But yeah, they arrive. It's announced that they're gonna try one last time to get CM Punk under contract. So we find out more about this later. But this was like earlier in the day. So there you go.
And now I believe we get to the one dud of the show. Thankfully, this was done and out of the way early.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll talk about it. We have Kelly with Eve Torres inside, defending her Divas Championship against Brie Bella with Nikki Bella inside.
Okay.
Reason for this?
No. Let me just. The reason for this match is because Brie Bella and Nikki Bella were mean girls, and they kept calling her a fucking anorexic pig. That's it.
I couldn't believe I was.
That's it. That's it.
Anorexic twig, I think.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. Anorexic twig. Sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. So we went from Piggy James to anorexic twig. You know, they're just as better. Yeah.
This is roughly a year after that storyline, by the way, too. So.
Yeah, they never changed until 2014.
But also, Kelly had won the Divas Championship from Brie Bella, which was a fan vote. Ironically enough, the fans voted it that way. I didn't vote it that way. I voted for Beth Phoenix, but that was just me. I
bet you most people probably voted for Beth Phoenix, but they changed the vote.
Yeah.
I don't trust. I never trust WWE's votes. I'm sorry, I never will. No way.
So
after 2007, no.
But yeah, we have but going through it, not much of a match here. Michael Cole was very heelish in this match. It was very annoying here. You could just definitely tell the change in Michael Cole here. Like, yeah, he was very heelish during the Money in the Bank anytime Brian was in it, but it's like whatever. Here it was like in your face this time. It was so annoying. The commentators didn't give a crap about this match. They would just talk about anything else but the match itself. It's the Divas division back then. That's what it was like. Kelly did improve. I think like a lot of people give her a praise, but you kind of watch her in this match.
She went from bad.
Yeah, I think she went from like majorly sucking to like minorly sucking. That's not much of an improvement right there.
She's sucking apparently. Jerry Lawler wants her to suck, and Michael Cole's like, "Can you stop, please?"
Yeah, it's really weird because Jerry Lawler is basically it's PG now, so Jerry Lawler is basically
yeah, he's being a perv still, but he has to be PG about it, and it's a very odd mix. Because then it's like, oh yeah, Bella's been very naughty, very bad. I want to spank him. Huh?
Yeah, it's just so weird. And it doesn't help the guy's like older at this time, so it's like,
dude, it is fucking not okay at all. Yeah. Like, he's much older here, and he said, "I want to spank him and wink my way." Oh yeah, he said, "Wink my way, I'll do the rest," implying that he is going to fuck the shit out of her. That is rape, Jerry. That is not okay.
One thing I enjoyed about the commentary, not for this match, but for this whole show, because Michael Cole did both shows at the time, anything that Michael Cole and Jerry Lawler joked about, Booker T didn't get, because they did commentary on Raw together, and anything Booker T and Michael Cole joked about, Jerry Lawler didn't get. And I think what I loved about this, too, is because Michael Cole commentated both shows, and Booker T only commentated SmackDown, and Jerry Lawler only commentated Raw. If it was a SmackDown angle, Jerry Lawler didn't know what was going on, and if it was a Raw angle, Booker T, like, somewhat didn't know what was going on. So basically, Michael Cole, like, had to kind of clue in, like, the other guy that didn't, like, call that brand. It was so funny, but yet so weird at the same time.
Michael Cole was the only guy that was completely and at all times in on the joke.
Yeah, it was really...
And that is a sad state of affairs.
And it wasn't even just about the storylines. Like, anything that, like, Booker T and Michael Cole had a joke about that they did on SmackDown, like... They wouldn't even tell Jerry Lawler like what they were talking about. It's like it's like it's a thing on SmackDown we do. You'll understand someday. Like, it was so.
You'll understand someday. That day never came, by the way. It never came because they ended it like literally a year after this, and Booker went on to be like a part-time wrestler.
Yeah,
and a general manager of SmackDown. So I don't know.
Yeah,
so. Reality Wrestling called his ass too. He's like, "Hey, let's start my own company."
By the way, can we say, by the way, like that basically us getting on this tangent just kind of says all we need to say about the Divas title match? Like, basically,
yeah, you know what? I will say this: Brie Bella is the better wrestler of the Bellas, and you could tell that there was a lot she was learning from Mr. Daniel Bryanson of the Bryan Danielson variety.
There was a bad bump I think we should talk about, and that's when Kelly, and this is like, I don't understand why Kelly did this in kayfabe, because it ends up backfiring when she does the headstand, where she does like the head scissors over the
and then ropes, she gets pushed into a moonsault.
It's like, I don't understand why you did that. Like,
how am I supposed to feel? She gets pushed to his fucking She does a fucking she does a split-legged moonsault on the fucking floor.
That's what it was. It was just James is dead.
James is laughing so hard that his microphone is dead.
But that's what it was. It was just like she just pushed it like that, and she like landed like almost broke her rib. We shouldn't laugh at that, but it was just I couldn't.
It's so funny. At one point, dude, she does a head scissor, and she doesn't even have both legs. So fucking great. She's just giving her leg. At one point, it's just Brie Bella taking her for a ride, and all I can think of as she's doing it is wee.
And you know what the worst part about it, by the way? Like, the commentators have to pretend this like a devastating injury, but you can tell, like, I think Booker T is like trying not to.
Oh my god, he is corpsing a commentary. Oh god!
I think Lawler's even corpsing on commentary too. Like, Michael Cole's, believe it or not, this.
And she does this spot, by the way, like every match she's in, by the way. This is not a new thing Kelly did. She always did it. I think it was at one point she came back for the Women's Rumble, she did it to get eliminated. I'm like, you stupid bitch. I love Kelly, by the way. Barbie Blake is a wonderful human being. But the character, like, why would you have her do this? It makes it look so stupid. But actually, no. I changed my mind. Please keep doing it.
Well, she's pregnant right now, so...
Actually, okay, don't do it now. I'm saying after the baby... The baby comes out.
The babies.
After the baby. After the baby.
After the babies, plural. Okay.
By the way,
that is the funniest shit.
I can make this joke now, by the way, because she's about to have kids anyways. I think we realized why she had complications getting pregnant now, because she's doing jokes like that.
I was not expecting the dark.
Christ, Owen, you have just murdered both her and James in one fell swoop.
Oh, fuck.
I'm calling the fucking police. Psychopath.
I was not expecting Owen to come in with a dark humor home run here. Like, that was... Woo! That's a baseball!
Kelly wins with a neck breaker. This match is over. Should we give it 3 stars based on the review alone? Because we
I'm bumping it up to 3. I'm bumping it up to 3 for this. Yeah, bump it up to 3. That fucking split the moonsault to the floor will never not be funny, bro. Why do you need more plastic surgery? Well, you see, what happened was...
I was a fucking idiot.
And I wanted to do gymnastics in a wrestling ring, and I fell on my face because of it, on the concrete floor.
Every match
Just for like fucking for like 3.5 years. Oh fuck. Oh god. Where do we go now? Where do we go from here? We've peaked.
I think from here, if I remember correctly, from here we go to a backstage segment with
yes.
No, that's later.
Oh, is it later?
It shows a WCW Nitro ad. It's that DVD.
Oh, the best of Nitro. Yes.
I actually have that DVD. I watched some of it, but not the whole thing, just because it's just how schedules work out. So you know.
In other words, Owen had no idea what the fuck WCW was, and he's like, this is boring.
I just had the schedules didn't work out where it happened. Like,
I like
I like some of the stuff that I saw, but I think pre-NWO I really didn't like all that much. It was just kind of whatever.
I wonder why. Anyway.
I wanted to get serious.
Pre-NWO, all they have is fucking Sting and maybe Cactus Jack.
Not Dungeon of Doom, bro. Dungeon of Doom. You know, like the Dungeon of Doom. They should have put Kelly. They should have put
Hollywood Blondes. I mean, the fucking Hollywood Blondes were good, but they didn't last long enough, unfortunately.
I don't think they were. I don't think they made it to Nitro. I think Nitro.
They broke up. They broke up well before Nitro. Yeah.
Yeah, like right before Hogan would come in.
I believe right about the time Nitro came around.
Yeah.
Is when Brian Pillman was already in the Fed.
Yeah. A cool thing about it, though, about this DVD is DDP, like, hosts the DVD. Like, you know how they'll have, like, a host for, like, every DVD and stuff? So DDP hosts it, which makes sense, because obviously Stan wasn't going to be able to host it because he wasn't working with the WWE at the time.
See, I hope that somewhere in the top 10 is the Dungeon of Doom. Like, it should be. You know, should have been in the Dungeon of Doom, Kelly. It would have been perfect.
But I don't think it was one of those things.
I think she was still in grade school at the time.
Was she doing handstands and falling on her face then too?
I wouldn't know. Okay. I didn't go to grade school with Kelly.
Fair enough. Neither did I. None of us did.
Casey, I thought you were about to say I didn't go to grade school.
I went to grade school, all right, just not with her.
I didn't go to grade school, so I couldn't tell you. I'm illiterate.
Yeah, but anyhow, to answer your question, James, I have seen this DVD. It doesn't do like the top 10 lists. It goes like chronologically, like when WCW.
Weird.
Oh, it's just an anthology.
Okay.
Yeah,
we should watch that for a review one day.
Yeah, I've been saying. The thing that's tough with I've always, like I said, I've always thought about doing retros for DVDs. It's just tough because you have to find the time to fit in to watch all discs and everything like that. And like,
yeah,
again, it's tough because then it negates the pay-per-view retros because then you know basically everything we can just review the show for. But we can talk about
We'll
it.
do it when we get to everything that's on the DVD, and there's like, hey guys, let's do it.
Yeah,
there you go.
Hey, I want us to get serious again because I want us to be serious for this match because Mark Henry will come for us if we're not serious for this match. And that's how
he's gonna come for us, and he's gonna be like,
should not have said that.
We can, you know what? It's okay. We can power walk faster than he can scoot. So
I think I know what you're referencing there, Casey. I think I know what you're referencing. But,
yeah, I know too. You're not wrong either, by the way. Jesus Christ.
But yeah, the next match is Mark Henry versus Big Show.
Knees were really fucking crunching more than a fucking pack of goddamn white crackers.
But anyhow,
premium version.
Really well built storyline right here. This is probably the third best storyline of the whole show. Build up, anyways. Match build up. Big Show was angry at Del Rio, and he was supposed to have a match with Mark Henry, and he begged Mark Henry not to get in the ring because basically he was going to hurt him, and that's exactly what happens. And it lit a fire pretty much under Mark Henry. He took out the Big Show week after week. He cost him his match with Del Rio. He basically redid the steel cage thing where like he took the door off the cage and ran the door to Big Show, and he like landed on the outside of the cage, completely broke the cage.
That was a cool spot. I still like that spot.
Yeah, it's really awesome. He threw him off the stage.
Bobby Lashley didn't do that exactly. He fucking dove shoulder tackled, like flying shoulder tackled the cage onto Umaga.
Mark Henry did this before though to Batista.
Yes, he did. Where he couldn't get the door ripped off because they didn't gimmick the door at all.
They fixed that issue that time.
This time they fixed it. Yes.
Mark Henry put Big Show through the stage. And Big Show realized that basically, he woke up something in Mark Henry because Mark Henry had been in the business for 15 years at that point. He was coming on to 15 years anyways. And basically hadn't done much in the WWE. He would always, try to get a push, but he would get injured or, it would just basically blow up in the company's face. And finally something woke up in Mark Henry. They didn't call it the Hall of Pain yet, but that's basically what it was building to.
Yeah, that's a year on from that, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is that same year. So, and Mark Henry basically said he was out to take out the Big Show. And I think a lot of people liked the storyline, but realized the match was going to be shit just because Big Show and Mark Henry, you put them in the ring together, they're not known to have the greatest chemistry with each other. Let's talk about it. Because they
had their working boots on tonight, though.
Yeah. And Mark Henry breaks one of the Big Show's working boots. So, but yeah, going through the match, Big Show.
Paul White was not happy. Paul White was not happy about that. I spent $3,000 on these boots. Son of a bitch.
No joke. But yeah, Big Show starts off intense in this match. He really goes after Mark Henry. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized, did you guys give your thoughts on the Divas title match? I think we were laughing too hard.
Yeah, no, we gave it 3 stars. What do you mean? We all unanimously gave it 3
specifically
stars.
Because of Kelly being an idiot.
Yes, it was fun. It was very entertaining, mildly entertaining. I was sports entertained.
And then, but yeah, Big Show starts aggressively attacking Mark Henry, just beats the crap out of him. He attacks him on the outside, bounces him head first on the English announce table, throws him into the steps. He doesn't really throw him, he just kind of pushes him into the steps, but I thought that made sense because of, Big Show wasn't going to be able to do that. Then eventually Mark Henry drop kicks the steps into Big Show's knee, and this was the knee that had been taken out by Del Rio when it was ran over by a car. And, I like the fact that he was still selling that injury because it was like, this was at the time, if you remember, when WWE, if you got injured, you just shake that. They wouldn't remember that.
Shake it off, guys. Shake it off.
Yeah, but not here, though. And Mark Henry dominates.
Or if you're talking about from, say, a little bit of an earlier era, just tape it up and go.
Take that bingo. Oh, yeah.
But Mark Henry starts targeting the leg of the Big Show. He hits a really good foot DDT on the Big Show. I like that.
Wait, I just realized Randy Savage then kept saying that until the day he tried to dive off the cage onto Hogan, and then he realized, I can't take my knees no more.
Yeah. Then Big Show mounts...
That's fucking sad.
Yeah, it really is. But yeah, Big Show mounts a comeback. He hits a really cool shoulder tackle.
Actually, wasn't this like the month after he died?
Oh, yeah. He died in 2011, didn't he?
2 months. It was 2 months because he died in May.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, Big Show hits the shoulder tackle. He goes for the choke slam, but Mark Henry kicks out his leg. And he hits a world's strongest
slam. He kicks his leg out of his leg.
Oh, no.
I'm a mile away.
That's a big leg to kick out of a big leg, if I do say so myself.
But yeah, Mark Henry hits a world's strongest slam onto Big Show, and Big Show kicks out, which surprised everybody.
Yeah,
and I like what Mark Henry does here, because typically, like the wrestlers, they'll be like, "What? I can't believe he kicked out of it." What does Mark Henry do? He just hits this finisher again.
And then he fucking's like, "I'm a running splash your ass twice, and then keep you down." Yay!
Yeah,
psychology. It works for big men. Who would have thunk it? It makes it better.
But it's not over here, though. Mark Henry then grabs a chair, wraps it around the Big Show's leg, and he does like a Vader bomb off of the turnbuckle onto the chair. And I love Big Show's selling of this here. He's like, oh, he's like the selling of Big Show, the facial reactions he's making when this happens is awesome.
Big Show's, when you give him the ability to sell, which is a very rare case for Big Show, he's phenomenal. Phenomenal actor.
It's one of the most underrated sellers of all time, I would say.
You know what's funny? You could say a lot about his shitty WWE run, which there was a lot you could say. There was some good moments, but there was a lot of shit. But the one highlight of Big Show's entire time there, man, are his acting chops superb, man. Like, you want him to cry, he's the best crier. You want him to fucking sell like he's in fucking pain, he could do that. Man,
you want him to be pissed. You want him to be pissed off. He's got
such a great face for that.
He's even really good at. He's even really good in the comedic roles when he's got to do the comedic roles.
Yeah, the comedic roles. He's fucking great at that. I mean, he's just on fire with that.
We look back to April 1st, 2005 for the perfect comedic example.
Give me some of the peas. I never had peas before. How about 2004 for Thanksgiving? Or when he's trying to save Kate. I'm coming, Kate. I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
That was awesome.
I love that segment.
But yeah, they have to stretch him out too. This is when they started using like the couch stretchers pretty much because the Big Show they weren't going to be able to
I love that, but at the same time it's like, okay, so it feels like Vince is just finding ways. It's like, how can we say to the audience the Big Show's fat? Get a cart out there. Roll a cart.
To be fair, they did this with The Undertaker also, though, too, so it wasn't too bad yet. At WrestleMania earlier that year.
Yeah, I mean, why not use the cart? Why not? Like, doesn't the NFL legitimately use the cart for their athletes? I swear.
Yeah, so I think this is...
Once they're off the field, I think.
Yeah.
Not necessarily on the field, but once they're off the field, they grab it.
I remember this year when they had that the game stopped because of the fucking near death that happened. They carted them out on that thing.
Yeah, oh god, what was his name? He played for the Bills.
Yeah, I forget his name now. It's probably because my brain's like, don't remember that, James. Why are you trying to make people remember that? Anyway.
Okay. By the way, James, remember that conversation we've had where like I zoned out the second sports gets talked about? That just happened. Like the second you guys started talking about sport, I was just gone. My brain went on.
You're not a fan, Owen. You're not a fan of Patriots South.
This is why my blue snowball is going to stay right where it is. But anyhow, so yeah, I thought this was good stuff. I like the way the commentary was selling this because we could say a lot of shit about heel Cole. Even when heel Cole's completely against something, like completely distraught, that's how you know it's a heel thing because it was very rare that Cole would do this.
Yeah, there was a couple instances of this, by the way.
I thought this was good stuff. I gave it 3. I thought I gave this match 3 stars. I thought the match was good, and I thought it accomplished exactly what it needed to accomplish, and that's get Mal Cameo as that dominant monster that he needed to be. And this was a good starting stages of the Hall of Fame.
He was a monster, you see, a monster.
James, I'll start with you this time. I think I was going to start with
Where's my goddamn cheese?
I want some cheese! Give me the cheese!
But anyhow, James, we'll start with you this time. What did you think of this match overall and everything about it?
I'd give it 3 3/4. Good big man match. They would have better ones as the year went on, but good big man match. I had a fun time. Good shit. Very good storytelling.
And what did you think, Casey?
I'd say 3.5 for pretty much the same reasons.
So there you go. And afterwards, Mal Camry would just go on to a tear, having the Hall of Fame. He would take out basically all the big men and everything like that. And then eventually he got him to the World Heavyweight Championship. The best, other than the CM Punk stuff, but the best thing I think the WWE actually booked and didn't screw up was Mal Camry's retirement. Yeah.
TLC 2011 would like to speak to you.
Well, we're not there yet, so we're gonna stay at the moment.
All right.
And to be fair, he was injured in that match.
That is fair. Yeah, that's why they had to do what they did. Yeah, you're right. But at least he got a world title, so yes, very happy.
He did get a world title. That is the important thing.
Hey, kitty cat views.
Hey, get the fuck out of my head! I was just about to say that.
Hold on. I'm just gonna show solo shot of Casey. Here we go, cat.
Okay.
Up, cat's behind. Little girl, can you hear me?
No, she can't. I have my headphones on.
Yeah,
little girl, hear me? Over.
No, she's
sniffing you. There she is. There you go. There's them views. Yeah, pet her. Yes, for the camera. Yes. Okay. That's this is getting creepy now. All right, let's go.
I didn't realize your spot had been filled by C. Montgomery Burns.
Yes, excellent. No, fucking. Okay, so
I was actually pretty dead on. What the fuck?
I suggest you leave immediately. Sorry.
Anyhow,
I like Mr. Bird. What was I fucking saying? God damn. Oh yeah. So yeah, then I think we get to the segment that we were trying to get to before, which was the backstage segment.
Yeah.
Bro.
So
this was sold so fucking well here, man.
Yeah, so Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis are backstage. Josh Matthews comes in, and he interviews Vince, and he wants to know what the status is of CM Punk. Vince says that basically he has not re-signed with the company, and he just doesn't understand it. He tried to give CM Punk everything. He gave him like the best contract.
Give him the most lucrative contract that he's given anyone, was his exact words, and it meant nothing to him, and he just turned it down. I did all I could do. I my hands are clean to this. I tried, guys. I tried.
And then I like what Josh Matthews asked next. He says, well, how did that conversation go? What did CM Punk say to you? And Vince said, all that CM Punk did was...
He looked at me, he pointed at the door, and said, get out.
Yeah, and then Vince was like, he said that to me, Vince McMahon.
It's not the first, and as we would find out later on in his lifetime, it's not the first time CM Punk's had the problem with people walking into his locker room unannounced.
Yep. But, yeah, so...
either.
No, yeah. It won't be, probably not. I want to do is like, wait, so if CM Punk gets his door opened up again, does that mean that's 3 doors down?
Oh, no. But yeah, this was a good segment here. I thought Vince acted very well here.
When somebody reports to CM Punk that he's got to drop the title, he says, "It's not my time."
It's not my time.
Yeah. It's not my time.
It's not my time. Or and then if CM Punk goes crazy, I think they'll call him Superman. Or he'll think they'll call him Superman. Who knows?
He thinks they'll call him Superman.
Behind those eyes, he lies. Did you know this? Sorry. I don't know what the fuck this show is, but continue. I'm gonna just talk over me.
But anyhow, yeah, this was a good segment here. I thought Vince McMahon acted the way he should have acted.
Yeah.
And I liked the journalism of Josh Matthews.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Josh Matthews was really good here. But I think one of my favorite all-time Vince McMahon lines comes from this promo.
Yeah, on Cena, right?
related to Cena. It does have to do with Cena. It's the very last line of the promo. If CM Punk walks out of this company with the WWE Championship, may God have mercy
on John Cena's
soul.
I loved this segment. There was a lot of people that I remember that gave the segment before Punk came back on Raw a lot of shit. I don't know why.
You're talking about where John Cena and
demanded that he got reinstated because it's the match the fans wanted to see, and Cena, whether they loved him or hated him, was always for the fans, right?
Yep.
I loved the fucking realness of this whole fucking angle. There was no good guy, there was no bad guy, really. There was, you know, you can maybe make the argument that the bad guy's Vince McMahon, and even then, he's trying to fucking make amends with Punk and give him as much money as he possibly could give him. Meet all of his demands, all the shit, right? Like, he was doing as much as he possibly could, right?
At least from a business standpoint.
Yes.
What he couldn't get through, as we would find out, I don't remember if it was later that year or the next year during the walkout, when CM Punk didn't care about money. He had a point to prove.
Yeah, he did, which I loved. I loved this whole fucking angle, man. Like, this angle was so fucking good. And who better to sell this last minute, when people have already probably bought the thing, but to really hammer home how real this storyline feels than fucking Vince, man. Like, and I've given this motherfucker so much shit, rightfully so, but the one thing I never, ever can take away from Vince and Kennedy McMahon, man, the acting chops will never, ever be denied, man. He's so good. He's so fucking good at selling a realness to an angle.
All of us love when Vince chews the scenery, and how could you not? But when he goes to the other extreme, and he becomes the tense, nervous, agitated, ruthless businessman, it's so fucking good.
But, because the funny thing is, it's him in real life, but there are elements where, like, it's really hard. I don't think people realize how hard it is to really be yourself in an acting role and make it look believable in the context of the story.
Yeah.
Man, Vince was a master of that. Like, he is. Yeah. Actually, no. I say was because he kind of fell off a little bit, but there was also not a lot to work with.
Yeah,
much to his own doing, to be fair.
Plus, he was too damn old.
Yeah, but man, this is like, I would say this is probably Vince McMahon's last great angle.
I would probably agree.
Yeah, I would agree. So I want to talk.
It was how much of it was really an angle, as we found out. Not a lot.
Let's also talk about this, because I remember TNA would get flack for this, for doing promos on pay-per-views that should have been on Raw when the pay-per-view was already bought. But think about this. I feel like WWE did it right here, and that's what. And here's why.
Yeah.
The fact that it made it so believable that last minute they're trying to get people. They're trying to get CM Punk signed. People last minute are like, wait, maybe he's not really signed. I gotta buy this pay-per-view. CM Punk might actually leave with a belt. Like, they're actually getting.
Yeah.
They're doing this.
And this was so wonderfully put in here. Like, how else were you going to sell the realness of it? Because if you tried to do a promo the week, like the SmackDown before, for example, it wouldn't hit as hard. It's a great segment, but it doesn't feel real. Putting it in the pay-per-view was the best fucking spot they could have done.
Because it sells the last minute, I don't want to say fear, but you get the idea.
Yeah.
It really has the purpose of selling that last minute seed of, is this actually going to happen?
Yeah, and the drama was at an all-time high. And I loved the differences in Vince's segments. He comes into the arena, he's happy, he's giddy, he's ready. And, like, he thinks he's got CM Punk in the bag. And an hour later,
we cut to him, and he's like...
He's devastated. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. He is mortified. Mortified.
And they make this comparison later. This is, I mean, obviously, it wasn't completely that way to the Montreal Screwjob. This basically was almost the Montreal Screwjob all over again.
But you're seeing it in front of your face. Like, all this is going on. Their whole fucking angle is to sell to this pay-per-view, and they do it masterfully.
This is how to recreate them. This is a masterclass on how to properly recreate the Montreal Screwjob as an actual official wrestling angle.
Yeah, for real. Which which ironically enough, TNA tried to do it this very fucking year, and Vince is like, hold my beer. Punk is like, hold my Diet Pepsi. Hold my Diet Soda. I'm sorry, they couldn't say Pepsi on the air.
But yeah, let's continue. Because we'll talk about when we get to the match.
Because I believe next is the Raw Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Yep. So next is the Raw Money in the Bank ladder match for a WWE Championship contract. It's Alberto Del Rio, notable prick, versus Kofi Kingston versus Jack Swagger versus Evan Bourne versus R-Truth versus Alex Riley versus The Miz versus Rey Mysterio.
Alberto Del Rio, notable prick, minus Ricardo Rodriguez.
Yeah, I don't know what happened to Ricardo here. I think he was injured at this time. I think they wrote him off TV, but I think he was legit injured at this time. But I always felt this back then. Del Rio without Ricardo does not work.
I agree.
And at least
Agreed.
Chris and I talked about it in Battleground 2013 Retro. I'm not going to repeat it here, but at least here he was just injured. So now, I'm like, okay.
Battleground 2013, is that where we got the Shield triple threat, or is that another year?
That's 2016. Battleground 2013 was when we got Rhodes and Goldust versus.
Oh, right. They were fighting for their jobs.
Yeah,
right. I remember this angle.
By the way, fun fact for you guys: do you know that the ones who provided Del Rio's cars, a lot of them were actually from Vince and Cena. And I think. And you look at this Lamborghini, and I'm thinking, this was definitely from Cena.
Yeah. But, there was no Ricardo here. I think they wrote him off. I think Big Show beat him up really bad. That's why he wasn't here.
He got hurt.
Now that I remember it.
He got hurt bad.
He got hurted.
Again, there was some feuds in the match. I think this match had more feuds in it than the SmackDown Money in the Bank did, which I'll give this match for. You had The Miz and Alex Riley, who were feuding after they had been a team for a while, and then Alex Riley broke away from The Miz.
They literally just did that angle, a couple months ago?
Yeah, they did. So that was still going on. Evan Bourne and Jack Swagger were feuding because Evan Bourne had beaten Jack Swagger a couple times on Raw, so they were feuding. I will say, I don't think we really talk about this. I feel like we should have talked about it in 2010. Maybe we did. What a difference in Jack Swagger then and now. Oh my gosh, is this? It's like not even. I can't believe it's the same person.
I agree. Not a lot of people give credit to how Jake Hager's really fucking improved. Because he was like a fish in oil here. He had no idea what he was doing at all.
Yeah. And he was a world champion not that long ago. So
yeah.
What else feuds were going on here? Ray and Del Rio. That's always a natural storyline they had going on.
Yeah, Ray Del Rio. I believe Del Rio Kofi. I believe Kofi and Bourne a little bit.
I wouldn't say Kofi's kind of the odd man out here. He's not really feuding with anybody. He was feuding with.
He was feuding with The Miz at one point during the year. He did feud with him, so that was a natural feud.
And then
although you do mention Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston, they had a really good dive spot after the match got going. That had Air Boom already been a thing by this point?
They were becoming a thing. I feel like this match is kind of what.
So it's another nice little bit of foreshadowing for the tag team that's about to happen.
This match is the reason, by the way, I wanted the tag team of Rey Mysterio, Evan Bourne, and Kofi Kingston to be a thing. By the way, just saying.
There you go.
Because they did some dives. They did the dives. Rey Mysterio, dived. Kofi dived, and Evan Bourne dived. I like that.
One more feud that was going on, though, was Ray and R-Truth, because that was R-Truth's first feud when he turned heel.
Yeah, so I think Truth and Miz, technically, as well, for if you want to go back to 2010 for the U.S. title at one point.
That's true.
Although, it wouldn't be too long after this point that Truth and Miz would be a tag team.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Awesome Truth.
So there you go. A lot of I would say like the SmackDown Money in the Bank, I think in our opinion is probably the better match. The better match that has the better feuds going into it is probably the Raw Money in the Bank. I don't think anyone would disagree with that. So, but yeah, let's go through the match. Everybody comes down with a ladder, which I thought was something different they did in the match. I like to throw out truth here because everyone comes down with like this big ladder before he comes out, and he just comes out with a small ladder because he's afraid of heights. And I like that. I like how
it does make for a good weapon though, because you can wield it a lot easier, and it doesn't weigh as much, so you can huck it at people.
And actually, he was kind of an underdog in this match because he was afraid of heights, and he was afraid that there was going to be spiders in the briefcase. So he was not going to be.
Yeah, you didn't like heights.
Are you serious, Ron? What the fuck?
By the way, it's funny. It's funny they say that, but it's like TNA. Hello, he had a letter.
Maybe he was afraid that. Maybe he was afraid back then too.
Yeah, well, he climbed the fucking thing. So how afraid was he?
Maybe maybe it's like maybe it's like the Jason Voorhees thing where they claim he's afraid of water, but that he's swam a bunch of times. I don't know. What do you want me to say? I know that doesn't make any sense either.
That's fair, maybe.
That doesn't make any sense either, so I don't know what I'm saying now. So
I'm the Voorhees shall set you free.
By the way, this was an Odd Truth that's coming up with like no theme music. I love that for Odd Truth. I think the first time I ever seen a wrestler come out with like no theme music at all. That was awesome. I liked it.
And the truth shall set you free.
It didn't set him free though, unfortunately. Odd Truth's here one was really weird at this time. It was like so funny, but like it was just like, yeah, this is not main event. This is not a guy that should be in the main event type of thing. So,
it's just bug-eyed to shit. Like it's like he tried to be Booker T, but Booker T just he was different with it. I can't explain it, but like Booker was just different with it, man.
I do remember there's a podcast. It's a very old podcast. I think we just did a random podcast, James and I, just shooting the shit about. It was supposed to be about the problems of pro wrestling, but then we just went. As you can tell, Casey, we just went on this whole tangent to talk about anything else. And then James went on this big rant about Little Jimmy, about how much he hated Little Jimmy, and I was wearing the T-shirt when he was doing this big rant on Little Jimmy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, during like the old school like Massasoit Wrestling Corner days, where I was just fuck Little Jimmy.
And I like showed off the T-shirt. It was like, I guess they'll have that.
Little Jimmy. I don't know. I always hated the Little Jimmy thing. It was like, doesn't exist. He's an imaginary boy.
Yeah. But anyhow, let's go through the match. Everybody comes down with a ladder, like I said. They had an idea here, which I liked. I don't think this really went over like they thought it would. It was okay, but I feel like it definitely was supposed to go on better, like when they had it written down on paper. They all beat up Del Rio with the ladders, which I like that. I love that. I thought that was awesome.
I wonder why.
By the way, this isn't just recency thing. I loved it back then too. I know it doesn't. No one's gonna believe.
Owen hated Del Rio. People like this is not a shoot. I've seen videos where he's absolutely trashed him back then too. Before he was ever an abusive piece of shit, he just didn't like him. He had a bad feeling about him back then.
Oh, I bet you had to change my Titantron now, by the way, because he can't be into my Titantron anymore.
No. I put him in that fucking thing on purpose so you could beat up the abuser.
Yeah, but now you have to change that because it wasn't, nah.
Let it happen.
Anyhow.
Let it run.
But yeah, so then everyone else starts taking each other out with ladders.
Hey, you want to do a moonsault styles class to Alberto El Patron?
Sure, why not? I don't think it's possible.
There you go. Some idiot tried to, and it fucking damn near concussed poor Mike Seidel. But yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, this was like ages ago though, so he's fine now. But yeah.
Obviously.
Fucking.
But yeah,
did you say Mike Seidel or Matt Seidel?
Mike Seidel, his brother.
Okay.
Speaking of which, he does a dive.
He does the airborne from the ladder onto everybody but Rey Mysterio.
Yeah,
I don't know why Rey wasn't there.
Oh, I know why. I'll get to it in a minute. But yeah, so they do dives. Everybody is doing a dive, right? So, fucking Alex Riley's the first to do the fucking dive. Then it's Truth, and then it's Kofi and Rey simultaneously. And then Ray goes over to hold the ladder for Evan Bourne, who's scaling the ladder, and then he does fucking airborne onto everybody. And then they all climb back in, and then they did their high spots, and then they're gonna try to go for the briefcase now, and it's pretty cool. It's fun.
And by the end of it, there are like 7 ladders in the ring, and it's an ungodly mess of metal.
Ladder Jenga, ladder Jenga, ladder Jenga. It is ladder Jenga.
They're all trying to grab the briefcase, but they're not very successful at it. Eventually, the Miz takes a bad bump where, like, I think it's Ray. Or I think it's Kofi actually. He does a missile drop kick, and the Miz lands really badly, like on his knee. I think it was a work, but there's just no way. I definitely think he got legitimately screwed up doing that because there's just no way. Like you could just see his knee was completely out of place right there.
Yeah, he got fucked up horribly from that.
And I'll talk about it now.
I'm shocked he didn't get a major injury from this.
Yeah. So they have to take him to the back.
So for those keeping track, that is 3 people now that have had to be taken out on some format of medical help.
Yeah. And then the Miz runs back out later though and tries to win the match anyways. And he if he wasn't already hurt enough, he gets a sunset flip powerbomb by Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, which was a great sunset flip, by the way. What a great sunset flip. At one point, Kofi Kingston is on that fucking ladder Jenga thing, and he fucking drop kicks somebody and balances himself on 2 fucking ladders, like he planks on the fucking ladders after he hits the drop kick. That was sick. I love that.
I'm pretty sure Del Rio takes a bad bump here, where like he gets tipped off a ladder, he goes like onto a ladder that's bridge, and it looked painful, but it wasn't one of those things where I went, oof, I went, yeah, because it's, little pickle, but no, but then, no, it's a dick. We got to see the early signs of the formation of Airborne as a tag team, where Kofi and Evan Bourne worked together on Jack Swagger, which was nice. I thought that was awesome.
Mid-sentence, he's a dick. Was such vitriol. Continue. Go ahead.
But anyhow, the finish, eventually Ray's and Del Rio up there. Nobody really liked Ray doing this match. They booed him.
Yeah, I was sad. What the fuck, man?
He does get booed at WrestleMania 22, and Chicago sometimes. They don't forget that type of stuff.
Fuck you. Fuck you, Chicago. Fuck you.
Because everyone...
Yeah. Well, on that night, Chicago was fucking rabid. It was CM Punk or nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. No, they enjoyed everything. They enjoyed everything.
They enjoyed everything, but they were only gonna put their all into cheering for one guy.
That's fair.
Yeah. I will say one thing, because a lot of people say I think they hated it because Ray only got the world title because Eddie passed. I still think if Eddie had lived, Ray somehow would have gotten the world title. That's just my opinion. I think
he would have.
The only likely difference is he probably would have had to beat Eddie for the world title.
Which would have been cool. That would have been a great fucking payoff to that whole angle, actually.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Oh, but then we don't get the match with Michaels, though, because they were also thinking about Michaels.
Well, don't forget, James. They can do that match at Mania, and then that SummerSlam, they can just do the world title match.
Yeah, true.
Well, I mean, they could have done Eddie versus Michaels at the Rumble.
Could have done Eddie versus... Yeah, they could have done Eddie versus Michaels at No Way Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or New Year's Revolution.
Well, the problem is, remember, they stuck to the brand split back then. Not like today. You guys are thinking...
Yeah, but you could do a specialty match. You could. They were doing specialty matches. They were
doing inter-promotional matches all the time back then.
Don't excuse them for not sticking to brand splits, because that's excusing them now not sticking.
No. I'm not excusing them now because they do it way too often. Back then, they rarely did it. If they did it, it was like a very rare instance, and it had to have been... The way they did it was the managers got together in a room, and they're like, can I get this guy? How much you gonna pay me? And then it's like, okay, well, let's explain. All right. How about...
Well, instead of payment, how about I give you this guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyhow, going through the finish, Ray and Del Rio are fighting on the ladder. Eventually, Del Rio pulls off Ray's mask, because again, notable prick, Alberto Del Rio. And Ray has to make a choice here. Does he expose himself, or his face, by the way, not like obviously the other way.
Does Ray pull down his pants in front of 14,000?
Ah, it's my Taquito! Rey Mysterio! Hey, you want to see my 619? I'll pipe you down with the area code, pretty lady.
What I meant to say was, does Ray reveal his identity? I should have said that instead.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Or does he risk and just fall down and, basically keep his identity alive?
That's fair. Yeah, that's a good.
And
question.
like a true pro, he chooses the latter.
Because he
quite literally, haha, pun.
Because he realizes, by the way, how much of a pain in the ass it is. Because I heard to get your mask back when you've revealed your identity. Like he's talked about that before. Like how much of a pain in the ass it is.
Was it as much of a pain in the ass back in 2011 though? I wonder.
In 2011, it probably wouldn't have been.
No.
Okay. But Ray is that old school kind of luchador.
That is true.
So then, you think the finish is going to happen, but because God hates Del Rio, which evidently so, the ladder tips over, and Del Rio has to set the ladder back up and just grab the briefcase again. Like, yeah, that was good. I mean, that happens.
I thought it added to the danger. To be fair, I thought it was cool. I thought it was a cool spot.
Yeah, because he was falling into a mess of ladders anyway.
I felt bad for Ray because he legit smashes on all the ladders. Yeah, poor guy, dude. Fuck.
But I thought this was a great Money in the Bank ladder match. I thought everyone kind of got to do something in this match. I feel like the one critique I have is I feel like there was things they wanted to do that sounded good in theory, but didn't actually work as well in practice like they thought it would. So I
thought it added to the match, though. To be honest, I'd still give this 4.5. I enjoyed this immensely. I love ladder Jenga. I thought that was cool. One spot I feel like we forgot to mention is Race does the 619 through the fucking ladder. That was sick. I love that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The fact that he was even able to pull that off with the ladder fucking fully tipping was ungodly amount of strength and athleticism by that guy. Holy shit.
I mean, you know me, James. This match isn't getting higher than 4 stars because Del Rio wins it. It's not going any higher than 4 stars.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. What about you, Case? Yeah, hate against Del Rio aside, and we all agree he's a right prick. But what do you think?
I'm gonna be the middleman. 4.25.
Oh, okay. Well, it's 4.25 officially now. If we do the John Tunney math, so there you go.
I can't do that math though.
Okay. What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean you can't do that math?
There's a reason John Tunney always checks my math because I suck at math. You know this, James. We've gone through this.
Owen, what I rated it 4.5. You rated it 4. He rated it 4.25. It's 4.25. There's only 3 people here. What do you mean?
There's also a cat there too. Don't forget.
Oh! What does the cat think?
That does not factor into the fucking equation.
Ask the cat. Ask the cat. Let's see.
Where's Cat?
Where is Cat?
She is currently napping on my laptop power block.
Oh well. Still, ask her.
Because it's warm. Because it's warm.
If it's warm, what does she think about the ladder match?
Cat says I didn't watch because fuck Del Rio.
There you go. That's 4 stars right there. Then.
No, it's not. It's 4.25. She didn't give a rating. She gave it a D for did not watch. Did the John Tunney method again.
Yeah, continuing. Alberto Del Rio gets interviewed after the ladder match, and he talks about how he doesn't even think he should have been in the ladder match because he had won a number 1 contenders triple threat match to get a title shot, but yet CM Punk was brought back for no reason, so he ended up having to do this. And this isn't his destiny. Yeah, this isn't his destiny. This is a formality that he's going to.
That was a good promo. That was a good promo.
That was a good line. That was a good line, admittedly. And he walks off camera in full confidence and security of being Señor Dinero en el Banco.
Unfortunately, I have to say this was a good promo.
You sound so sad.
I could give him his just due. It just sucks that I have to. So
yeah, nobody likes giving an abuser his just due.
Unless that just due is some abuse.
Yeah.
No, that's something you condemn, Casey.
No. Giving abuse to the abuser.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Next match was the World Heavyweight Championship match. It was Randy Orton defending against Christian. And if Randy Orton got disqualified or if there was poor officiating, Randy Orton would lose the championship. Let's go over why this match was happening.
What a spicy match! Spicy match this was.
Christian.
Nice.
It was very good. Christian had won the World Heavyweight Championship at Extreme Rules
You made it sound so mild.
That's just my opinion. So.
No, I know. No, we all agree that it was good, but we said spicy, and then you're like, it was very good. The joke, mild, get it? Mild sauce. Huh?
Oh yeah.
God.
It takes a bit because I never have the mild sauce. I just go right for the spicy. So.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
But anyhow, so Christian had won the World Heavyweight Championship at Extreme Rules 2011, and he lost the belt.
Later. Yep, lost it 5 days later. Well, technically, if you count tapings, 2 days.
2 days later, yeah.
But yeah, Christian,
and because ouch.
Yeah, so they did a poll where who was going to face Christian on that SmackDown, and Randy Orton.
I don't necessarily think James and I need to talk too much about our thoughts on the overall storyline, because Adam Blampied kind of did it for us.
Yeah, I will talk about it when we get there. Randy Orton and Christian had a rematch at Over the Limit, where Randy Orton won the rematch. And then Christian struggled to get another match for the belt, so eventually he turned heel, and he got another match at Capital Punishment. Randy Orton won that match, but however, there was poor officiating because the ref missed his foot under the rope. And
the officiating. One more match.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Christian's peeps.
That's pretty much what it was. And then Christian got the other match. He had to go through all these hoops just to get this match, though. He had to win 2 number 1 contenders matches to get there. One of them because he didn't even get the pinfall himself. So yeah, he ended up finally getting it, and he had his legal team add a couple of clauses in the contract, which are the clauses I just mentioned, that if Randy Orton got himself disqualified, if there was poor officiating, he would immediately win the championship. Randy Orton talked about how this wasn't wise for Christian to do this, because he talked about how in the past Randy Orton has had issues controlling his anger, and he said that he's going to try to put that aside to make sure that Christian doesn't get the world title. And on the Go Home episode of SmackDown, Christian did all these things to piss Randy Orton off. He vandalized his bus by spray painting on it. He took his wallet and gambled all his money away. And I think he got him DQ'd in a match on SmackDown. So,
which it's kind of a shame that the main points of this booking were not what they should have been, because the in between of the main points was pretty fucking good.
It was really good. Yeah.
So I'll talk about this now. I know you and James aren't going to talk about it because Adam Blampied did it for you, but I'll just talk about it. There were elements of the storyline, I think, like we talked about, that was good. This just didn't do any justice for Christian as a main event.
Yeah.
It just proved. I think it just proved.
Hold on, I got you. I will say something about this match. At least, give him the title for a fucking month.
There you go. But I didn't mind Christian as a heel, but it definitely proved that.
Very angry.
And I think the best way I could say it, Vince,
peeps.
but Vince always saw Edge as the guy and not Christian. I think he definitely didn't see Christian as a main event guy. I feel like Christian. The only reason
he put a blue dot on his face at one point, didn't he, or wanted to?
He wanted to. The only reason I think Vince caved and finally gave Christian the world title was because Edge retired, and he realized he didn't have a choice at that point. But
he hates Christian.
Also, didn't Christian win the a Money in the Bank match on the WrestleMania 27 pre-show?
No,
he did not. There was no Money in the Bank back then. So.
It's sad.
I swear he won his match on that card though.
He did, but it wasn't a Money in the Bank. It was sad. Very sad.
But yeah, let's go through this match. The match starts out very well. Christian tries to get Randy Orton disqualified. He brings a chair into the ring, and he turns around so Randy Orton will hit him in the back. However, Randy Orton refuses. He realizes what Christian's trying to do here, and they kind of have like a stalemate a lot. They kind of chain wrestle each other when no one really gets the advantage on each other. Because by this point, they had wrestled each other so often, they kind of knew each other's movesets and everything like that, which was cool.
This is great wrestling, by the way. This match was so good.
Christian slaps Randy Orton in the face, and Randy Orton just goes ballistic onto Christian. He just destroys him, and he realizes he has to be careful because he gets himself disqualified.
Good on the ref for keeping on Randy Orton to stay calm.
Yeah. Christian is mouthing off to Randy Orton to try to get him to lose his temper, but it doesn't work. And eventually, Christian kind of uses the stipulation to help him get the advantage because Randy Orton's trying to keep his cool that he lays out Randy Orton with a back elbow, which I really liked how they kind of used the stip that caused Christian to kind of get the upper hand anyways. That was really cool.
That was really cool.
Christian dominates Randy Orton. He gets a really good suplex onto Orton, but he kicks out. He hits the springboard like elbow that Christian liked to hit. It was like an uppercut type of move, but it's not enough to put away Orton. Christian locks in a submission. It's like a Boston Crab, but Randy Orton gets to the ropes. Randy Orton mounts a comeback, and I like this because he's going through his comeback, and Christian realizes he's gonna go for the scoop slam, and I think this is the first time this had ever happened, where someone actually kind of countered Randy Orton like scoop slam. Like when he instead of bouncing off the ropes, he grabs the ropes pretty much, and like Randy Orton, he still kind of kicks his ass anyways, but I just kind of like that it showed that that they had that familiarity with each other, that type of thing, and everything like that. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Randy Orton goes for the superplex. Christian counters it, and he hits a diving headbutt onto Orton, but Orton kicks out of that. Randy Orton hits the neck breaker, and he hits the stomps on Christian. He goes for the RKO. Christian counters into a backslide, and Orton just barely kicked out of it. Like it was a really close near fall. Christian hits the kill switch. It was really cool because like you didn't think he was actually going to hit the kill switch. It was like you thought Orton totally was going to counter it, but
he struggles and then actually hits it after the struggle, which I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Because that never happens. And Christian, I don't really think there's a reason I think that Christian doesn't always make that his finisher because that move is not easy to hit on people.
No, it's not.
But unfortunately, though, Randy Orton kicked out of that though, so that was sad. But I like that they did the call back to the finish at Capital Punishment where Randy Orton went for the RKO, but Christian reversed it. I thought that was a good callback.
Yeah, I knew it was coming after pounding on the mat as well.
That was cool. Christian hits a spear, but Orton kicks out of that. Orton finally hits the scoop slam after several attempts to go for it, and he hits the draping DDT. He goes for the RKO. Christian counters it, and he gets into the corner. And he spits right into Randy Orton, almost like in his mouth type of thing. Like I think that spit definitely in his mouth.
It was kind of gross.
And then Randy Orton just loses it. He goes ballistic on Christian. He destroys him. And eventually the ref's trying to get him to keep his cool. And Randy Orton just has had enough. And he low blows Christian.
Didn't even care at that point. Didn't even care.
He takes his leg to Christian and poofs him in the penis right in front of the ref.
And I hope Christian was wearing a cup because, I think he was.
Dude, he legit did the punt kick to his fucking area. Like, just right there in the donger. He fucking just waffles him. Like he was Gronkowski on the goddamn football field. Just punt right in the balls. Right in the balls.
Can we say Pat McAfee instead?
Gronkowski, don't you mean Goskowski?
Can we say Pat McAfee instead?
Yeah, because he was an actual punter.
He was an actual punter. He was actually a punter. I mean,
so
Pat McAfee is a better human being than Gronk ever will be.
What the hell? Why? No, he's a good boy. He's just very special.
Good boy. His contract when he backed out of the business and like he
didn't want to perform in front of fucking nobody, and he's like, "Oh, the NFL wants me to come back. Okay, let me get another Super Bowl." I don't blame him. Fuck it.
To be fair, he didn't have to sign.
Go Patriots South. Anyway,
it's not like the pandemic wasn't wasn't incoming by that point when he signed. So
it doesn't
anyhow,
matter. Leave him alone. Leave our boy alone.
I will not. But anyhow, I will for now because we have to do this video.
Okay.
But anyhow, yeah. So I liked what happens here. They actually show in the replay of this, and I liked how it showed up how chaotic it was. They had to stop showing the replay because Randy Orton just went ballistic on Christian.
Love that realism there. Love the realism.
He just starts destroying Christian. He hits an RKO onto him on the Spanish announce table. Teddy Long's trying to plead with Randy Orton, but it's just not happening. And Randy Orton,
he's already lost the title. Who's gonna stop him?
Yeah,
he didn't care.
The table doesn't break, and you can just tell Randy Orton's like,
the table doesn't break. The table doesn't break twice.
Yeah. So I wonder if he was legitimately getting pissed that this table wasn't breaking, type of thing too. So that helped.
He probably was legitimately pissed. I bet there was some shoot punches he was throwing at Christian. You spat in my mouth, you gross fuck. And a young Randy Orton at 2005 was like, ha. Now I realize this doesn't feel too good.
Yeah, but this match was very good. I loved it. I loved the storytelling of the match. I actually liked the finish quite a bit. I thought the finish really added to the match. I gave it I'm giving this 4 stars. This was great stuff. I gave it 4.
I gave it 4.5 stars. I fucking loved this match. I thought they fucking went crazy, and it was good.
I'm gonna give it 4.5 as well. This was a banger of a match.
Really
way better than its storyline would lead you to believe it had any right being.
And the storyline. This is actually the time where the storyline of the DQ finish actually worked out in the end too. For that, it was really awesome type of thing. Because Christian, it was the perfect guy to get this over. I feel like Christian's heel run, and Christian as a heel never really gets talked about enough up until his AEW one. His WWE heel run really was good. It's just he didn't have the booking behind him to really make it good.
Yeah.
Christian has always been amazing as a heel. It's just whether or not he's booked the right way to be a heel.
TNA was a great example of that. And
AEW against Jungle Boy was probably his best heel work of his career.
Yep.
Yeah, but this was I liked this. This set up obviously the SummerSlam match where Randy Orton would win the title back, and then obviously
and a no DQ match, which was also awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome. But yeah, this was awesome.
Was that at SummerSlam the next month?
Yep,
it was.
Okay.
But yeah, this was awesome. I love this. So yeah, it was great. I was gonna say something else, but I forgot what I was gonna say. But I'll probably remember as I go.
Something to do with Christian, or something to do with Orton being being hurt and punching him.
Yeah, that was just. I liked the replay. I liked how pissed he got. I like that they did the low blow finish as a DQ finish. It would have been because it would have been stupid if they did I kick too much ass type of finish. I like that.
Yeah, they were close, but the referee was like, "Stop it!" And then he kicked him in the balls. God damn it, Orton.
I like that the ref tried to show leeway too. He was trying to be fair here, but he realized he finally had to call for the DQ. It was so that was.
I mean, when you consider the fact that he gambled all his money, vandalized his bus. Then he goes and slaps and talks shit and spits in his face. It was the last straw.
By the way, I do love one thing. This was I think what I was gonna say. Booker T on commentary was being such a hypocrite here. He was talking about how Christian was going into world titles and was gonna win it the backdoor way. I always went in there and took care of business. Dude, you won the U.S. title. Randy Orton, I think it was Randy Orton too, won the U.S. title for you. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he did. He did. He always did that. He did that all the time. He won the fucking.
Although, if this is if that's the point in time that I think it is, wasn't Booker T injured around that time anyway? Legit.
Yeah, but that was the reason he still took the back door away. And by the way, when he won the WCW title for a 5th time, Shane McMahon was the one who helped him win it. So what do you mean? What do you mean, Booker? I always took care of my business. Straight up. Bro, you were in the main event Mafia. You fucking got yourself cheating wins all the time with Scott Steiner.
I remember the dude didn't even want to have a match with Chris Benoit for the belt. Teddy Long had to force him finally to have a match.
and Sharmell won the thing for him. He won the king. He got the King of the Ring because Sharmell helped him win it.
No, it was Finley that helped him win it.
Yeah, Finley. I'm sorry, Finley helped him win it. His whole round table, his Knights of the King Booker round table helped him win every defense of his world title. He won the world title because Chavo interfered against Ray. What do you mean?
Yeah.
God damn.
The only reason he gets the first WCW world title is because WCW was so shit at that time too.
I always win. I always win my matches straight up. I take care of business face to face the right way. You feel me, dog? King's just like, what about all these times, Booker? Well, you know. Well, you know.
Tim was agreeing with him, actually, so because he's the babyface. Michael Cole was the one that wasn't agreeing with him, but he didn't put up any of the points we just mentioned, though.
Yeah, not at all. Michael Cole was like, didn't you want to explain to me why you fucking cheated to win every time in 2006? And just like in the Money in the Bank match when he kept changing his picks, he goes, well, you know.
I think it's at this point here, by the way, where he mentions, everybody had been taken out in a stretcher, and he mentioned I think he screwed up and mentioned that Big Show was in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and Michael Cole was like, wait, Big Show wasn't even in the Money in the Bank ladder match. He was like, I bet that he got taken out in the stretcher on this pay-per-view. Like, he had to correct himself type of thing. Michael Cole was like, oh, no. Look at see what are you doing on this show, dude.
Booker was Booker T was on Mars by this point. He was a tired Booker. You can tell he was a tired Booker because he's mixing up his matches. He fucking like he's like, all right, so many people were on a stretch tonight. There was at one point he said, this is why I always try to avoid a Money in the Bank ladder match. He's like, and Michael Cole corrects him. But he's like really good at cover. He actually covered his tracks really well there because he's like, yeah, I know. I tried so hard to try to talk myself out of it. You would talk yourself out of a world title opportunity, Booker? I don't think so.
And to be fair, if you remember when he has the qualifying match, the Great Khali helps him win the qualifying match. He even takes the help.
Right, he does. Yeah, he really hated ladders, huh?
Yeah.
God damn. Mm-hmm. I think that's why. Now we know why they did the San Francisco's 49er match instead of a fucking ladder match, because he didn't like heights.
Yeah. By the way, we should talk. Remember how I said his commentary? Believe it or not, this is what I said. Booker T's commentary was good on this show. I feel like it was good because it was funny, but now it's just not. It's not even funny anymore. Man.
No, because he's like, there's nothing to work with, man. Back then, he had so much to work with, and he just being funny. Like, this is like Black Snow on commentary, bro. Like, full form. By the way, he hated that he did Black Snow. I can't believe that. Booker, why? It was the best thing you ever did in TNA. Don't never be ashamed of that. That was the funniest, funnier than shit. Chet Lemon and Black Snow, greatest commentary team in TNA history of all time.
Well, that retro will be coming up in September.
That will be. There you go.
But anything else you guys want to say before we move on? Or
I think we covered all our bases. It's time for the main event.
Well, first we gotta cover the Be a Star ad that played. Just don't be a bully, guys. Be a star. So.
Oh yeah, sure. From that company. Yeah.
After Brady Orton bullies Christian for like a straight 10 minutes. After he bullies him for like 15 minutes during the match.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
You know what's weird? One of the people that speaks are the Bellas doing this.
They're fucking in a feud where they're calling fucking goddamn Kelly and anorexic twig.
One of the other people.
She bullies her own sister. How are you gonna lose to her? She barely eats food. She's bullying her sister. Nikki Bella is.
I don't think on this one, but later on, you know who else speaks? Mark Henry. Dude just crushed the Big Show's leg with a chair.
He bullied the Big Show. He broke his big boot.
What was this company doing at the time? Like, come on.
This being a star, I like the idea, but it doesn't make sense when wrestling is full of bullies so that the heroes can go against them. Like, And sometimes the faces can be the bullies because they've been bullied and pushed to the point of no return. Oh yeah, be a star though.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get to the main event. Let's all get serious now, because this is serious business, right?
Yeah.
Very serious business.
This is the 5-star match of the night.
Oh, big time.
John
Actually,
Cena.
didn't this match also win WWE Match of the Year?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So John Cena defended his WWE Championship against CM Punk, and if CM Punk wins, he's going to leave with the belt.
And John Cena's fired.
Yep. Going through the feud, CM Punk had pinned John Cena on the go-home wall before capital punishment, and he thought he was owed a title shot because he pinned the WWE champion, and he would demand a title shot. So he won a triple threat match to get the title shot, and he announced that July 17th, 2011, his contract was up, and he said that he was not planning on re-signing it, and that when he wins, he's going to leave with the WWE Championship. So there was an interesting storyline there. I don't think the storyline really caught fire that week, but it was, there was intrigue going on here.
It was pretty soon after that it caught fire.
No, it caught fire immediately. It broke no DQ like 2 hours after it happened, I think, or maybe like 2. I don't know how many minutes it took, but the site was down for such a long fucking time. And Wrestling Observer was down. Fucking Wrestling Inc., which just started up like not even a few months before this, was down. Wrestling News was down. Every fucking rumor mill site was just down across the board. There was a point where Twitter was down, and it was like at its infancy by that point.
Yeah,
because they wouldn't stop talking about Phil, and they didn't have the bandwidth to be able to fucking host that many people at one time yet, which is crazy to fucking think about now. I think it's so much was down, dude.
Then the next week, CM Punk cuts the pipe bomb. I'm not going to go through the pipe bomb word for word because you can look it up for yourself. It's very well known at this point. But he mentions, the key takeaways, that this company will be better after Vince is dead. But oh my gosh, we might not be, because it'll be taken over by the doofus son-in-law and his doofus daughter. He mentions Colt Cabana. He mentions that maybe he'll leave the company and take the belt to Win or New Japan Pro Wrestling. He mentioned all this stuff pretty much. He mentioned the fact that John Cena was basically
hate this idea that you're the best, but because you're not, I'm the best. At one point, he said, "I didn't get in trouble for saying this little nugget where I said I like to think that maybe this company would be better after Vince McMahon's," and they loop this part, dead, and then fucking it goes into Punk again.
Yeah, that was more of an echo effect than anything.
I love that. It's one of my favorite promos of all time. And then he goes, "I got in trouble basically because I have the balls
to say what nobody else has the balls to say."
I love that, which is fucking weird because he did it again.
Yeah. Which, let's not talk about that one.
Still did it.
But CM Punk, his mic got cut off and he was suspended. So they needed a new opponent for the WWE title. Del Rio went on to win a triple threat match. And John Cena just couldn't stand this. He, Vince McMahon came out and talked about why he suspended CM Punk. He talked about how CM Punk, has been a Punk ever since his entire life. He's always been tough to deal with. He's been one of the toughest superstars he's ever had to deal with. And John Cena came out there and he wanted the match reinstated because he basically called out Vince, saying that he doesn't want to take the risk because you're too afraid to take this risk. But John Cena thought this was an intriguing match. And Vince McMahon didn't want to take this risk because he didn't want CM Punk showing up to another company with his championship, because he's had this happen before, by the way. Not even with his top title, with the woman's title, and he realized how much of a fool that he looked before. So, his storyline is emerging right there.
The whole reason he didn't want Bret Hart to fucking win the title.
Yep. And basically, John Cena was going to walk out of the company. He even handed Vince his belt and basically talked about how Vince already made the belt meaningless. I feel like CM Punk, we should talk about, by the way, gets a lot of credit for his pipe bombs and stuff. John Cena does not get the credit that he gets for the former work he was doing hyping up this match. I don't think.
Dude, he doesn't nearly get enough credit, man. He doesn't. He doesn't. Oh, by the way, I just realized on the little graph, I forgot to include the Money in the Bank 2011 thing. I'll have to fix that in post, but whatever.
But yeah, I think that. But yeah, John Cena was like busting out. This is when John Cena's mic work really turns around. Is this feud with CM Punk? Like he starts cutting epic promos after this. Like
yeah, big time.
I think the thing we don't talk about enough is if CM Punk never cuts the pipe bomb. Yes, we saw work shoot promos before in WWE. But WWE really didn't do them all that much. Basically, that's what the promo is all nowadays, which is kind of a problem. And people have talked about the problem, but now basically everyone will cut a work shoot promo nowadays.
The only one that I can remember that had as much impact as Punk's did was the Talking Smack promo Miz did.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the last one that I can remember that actually had a great impact to the product. Because it really put the Intercontinental title back where it needed to fucking be in the first place, which was the Workhorse Championship. Even though they still kind of fucked around with it a little bit, but they at least were making that a prominent fixture every week after that happened.
I mean, if we just stick into WWE, the one I can think of that left an impact on me was John Cena's promo he does on The Rock, like going into WrestleMania 28, the first one that he does.
I can tell you one that... here's another one that didn't fucking age well at all. The Roman Reigns John Cena shoot promo, which a lot of people were just like, okay, guys. Both of these guys both look like idiots. Why are you making them both... Why are you burying both of them? When we already don't like one of these guys, you shoved the other one down the throats of a lot of people for fucking years. Who's the babyface here? So
one line actually that I didn't even like at the time of Roman Reigns told John Cena, because this is pre-Tribal Chief. I've been selling the tickets. You haven't been selling for 5 years. I'm like, wait, what? Where were those tickets just selling, Roman? I think this is around the same time half-empty arenas were starting to become a thing.
We'll blame Jinder Mahal for that one. That's not really Roman's fault, even though Roman was being booked to shit. I blame Jinder on that one.
I mean, I hate to say it though. Who was the top guy at the time, though? I mean, he's got to take some of the blame too. So
does he? I blame Jinder.
Okay.
Jinder was the last straw for a lot of fucking people, bro. Let's not even kid ourselves.
Continuing with this build up, so yeah, Vince basically reinstated the match, and
CM Punk says, I signed a very long... Vince McMahon wants to sign me to a very long-term, very long, lucrative contract with World Wrestling Entertainment. So, it was...
And the thing I liked about it, and also Vince adds a stipulation where if Cena loses, he's fired. And, they had this... I was actually at this Raw, not the Raw where they had the contract signing.
The one where he fucking just eviscerates Vince McMahon on the microphone, awesome. Man. He just makes him look like a fool. I don't even think Austin ever made Vince look this bad. Like that. Dude, Vince and Vince gets cheered by the audience, and then he doesn't after Punk comes out. Like it's a 180, and he goes and he's just eviscerating him, just making him beg and grovel. He says, I want CM Punk cups. I want CM Punk t-shirts. I want CM Punk the movie. Which, by the way, he did get.
CM Punk ice cream bars.
Yeah, first order of business says, I want you to bring back the WWE ice cream bars. The crowd cheers loudly. And he says, see, look at that.
Why wouldn't they? I love those. Those were great.
See, I just made you $1 million in ice cream sales. By the way, Vince never fucking did that.
No, he did. They did come back. They just weren't good. They came back during the pandemic. They were like ice cream sandwiches, pretty much. With the best
fuck off. Yeah, no, that's not the same. Come on. But yeah, just eviscerating him, and some of the stuff they cut out of the promo package was, he said, you want to punish people for actually liking professional wrestling, huh? Guys like Colt Cabana, guys like Luke Gallows? You will apologize to me for them because they are not here to speak their mind, and I'm the only one here. I am CM Punk, and I am the voice of the voiceless. You will apologize, and you will like it. I was like, holy
it's so
shit,
great.
dude. It's so good. So good. And then Vince goes, I'm sorry. And then Punk goes, what? What? If there was ever an appropriate time, what? I apologize, you son of a bitch! And he's like, this is a moral victory for me. Vince McMahon apologizes to CM Punk. This is better than winning the world title 3 times. I was like, holy shit, man. All-timer segment.
The thing we don't talk about either is we love this too because while CM Punk had been a 3-time world champion, he was never the guy in the WWE.
He never felt like a big deal. They just casted him off like any other indie darling they ever brought in to push for like a cup of coffee, and then he was like nothing. But yeah, man, like then Cena comes out and he says, "Fine speech. You talk a big game, but in the path of trying to get things the way you want, you lost sight of everything." Which Punk's, I forget every word that Cena said in that promo, but Punk then replies with, "I've lost sight? You are the one that's lost sight. You're the 10-time WWE champion. You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, the champ is here. You have become a dynasty. You are what you hate. You've become the New York Yankees." Punch.
And I actually remember seeing that promo live as it happened. Because wasn't that in Boston?
It was.
It was. I was there live.
You, just like your beloved Red Sox, went and look at you decked out in their colors of your beloved Patriots. Maybe I remember you wearing the green of the Celtics. And hey, how about them Bruins this year, huh? Because they had just won the Stanley Cup by then.
They did, yeah. The crowd cheered when he brought up that, yeah. Yeah, man. He was cutting a great promo, and Cena punches him, and then he's like,
"You stunning Brenner, and you may as well be Jeter."
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, the cutting a promo even without the microphone. And then he gets the microphone again, and he's like, "Thanks for punching me in the face, John, because you know what? It reminded me of why I hate this place. Really opened up my eyes. So say goodbye to the WWE Championship. Say goodbye to your lineage, and say goodbye to CM Punk." And the promo package itself ends with, "Do I have everybody's attention now?
It was awesome. Like, truly great. What makes this work is the chemistry that John Cena and CM Punk had. You just saw instant chemistry. Dude. That no matter what we say about how the storyline ends, CM Punk and John Cena in the ring, on the mic, no matter what, always instant chemistry.
Always. And they nailed it out of the fucking park. By the way, great theme choice for the promo. For the promo package. I used it for WYW, in fact. Because it was that fucking good. You had to use it twice.
But anyhow, let's go through the match. CM Punk comes out. And he comes out still to his first theme song.
This is the best entrance he's ever done.
Yeah.
I actually no, because the Rampage entrance is so iconic too, isn't it? Man, it's like 1A, 1B.
Yeah, 1A, 1B. Let's
when
be honest.
He comes out here, and he has a brand new T-shirt, best in the world. It's a classic T-shirt now. I think I have it somewhere. I was gonna wear it for this, but I couldn't find it. And
isn't that the same T-shirt Nikos tore the tag off of?
I think so.
I believe so. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is the same one. Yeah, because he just he still has the T-shirt. He just ripped the tag completely off. Yeah.
One notable thing, because he was the lead. CM Punk was the leader of the Nexus, the new Nexus at the time. Basically, this is the end of the Nexus right here. Is which he didn't really need that faction anymore, anyways. But I'm just saying.
Which is funny because they used them somewhat. They used those guys. They used Michael McGillicuddy and David Otunga somewhat in this build. But
yeah. But this was the end of the new Nexus, which was fine. They didn't need to do that anymore, especially because Punk didn't need them anymore. Oh, okay.
Casey,
I don't know
where'd you go? Casey?
I'll just keep talking.
Casey!
But yeah,
oh, hang on. There we go.
There we go.
But the crowd erupts for CM Punk. This is the thing they've been waiting for.
The minute the promo ends, they're cheering CM Punk, CM Punk. This fire burns hits the first riff. Yeah, it fucking comes out, soaks it in, goes. It's clobbering time. I think it might have been the first time he ever did it.
I think it was, yeah.
Yeah, in WWE, and he does his fucking infamous taunt now with his hands behind his back, walking backwards. The crowd's going nuts when he goes, it's clobbering time. He hadn't done that in fucking years. He hadn't done that since Ring of Honor. So, like, he does that. The crowd immediately know what that is, and he's doing the Things catchphrase. He's doing the walk, and Jerry Lawler says on commentary, the only thing that I could compare this to is if the Chicago Bears won the Super Bowl and it was in the hometown where CM Punk's from. That's what this feels like. I was like, fucking so good. So good.
Then, and by the way, we should talk about this too. Punk doesn't even come out right after the video package too. They let the crowd wait for Punk.
They let the crowd pump.
They milk the fuck out of this.
They know. They knew. Like, this is history. This is history. Film this. Don't let him come out yet. Let the crowd chant his name. This is tremendous television. Just the crowd alone. And
then John Cena comes out.
The champ is here, and nobody wants him.
Yeah.
Not as bad as One Night Stand 06. I don't want to talk about that too much because that's going to be a retro someday.
Yeah.
But it's almost as bad. I would say, like, this is probably like the second worst Cena's ever been booed, probably in his entire career.
Yeah. Just doesn't even do a taunt until he gets into the ring. He knows he's the enemy. He knows that nobody wants him to win. I like the storyline telling here. There's a storytelling I'm doing a little bit myself because Cena's been in here before. He doesn't do his typical Cena entrance. He realizes, like, this is go time here. He just comes right out and he's just intense right here. Yeah, man, they booed the shit out of him. By the way, in the crowd, you see a young Ace Steel.
And Colt Cabana.
Awkward.
Yeah. Ace Steel's kind of awkward now, too, so.
He's back, though, so it's fine.
But, yeah, the match starts, and they don't even lock up for a bit. They kind of let the crowd milk it. They chant, Cena sucked. They chant, let's go, Punk. The commentary, I'll just say now, was really good for this match. Talk about how the danger of this match, about how, like, the company might not have a top title, talking about the history of the championship. There is one moment of, like,
I'm sorry to cut you off, Owen, but I have to pull a page out of James's book here. Where was this at Backlash 2007 for ECW, assholes?
There was one thing I thought the commentary was about to get bad, though, because they were mentioning all the people that didn't hold the title. Booker T mentioned it, Michael Cole mentioned it, Jerry Lawler. Lawler, you haven't been champion either. It's like, yeah, what does that mean? It's like, well, you haven't told him. Like, don't you dare ruin this. Because I thought they're going to
dare. Yeah, and he's like, and your point? Yeah, just shut him down immediately. Like, call the match. Fuck your gimmick. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. But yeah, the match starts. They chain wrestle each other, and no one really gets the advantage on the other. Punk gets the advantage a little bit more just because it's like, hey, he's the hometown guy. He's got the, he's the one that's feeling it right now. I liked the commentary talking about, like, how Cena has to take the crowd out of this and all that type of stuff. And how, like, the crowd, they mentioned how Cena's not even paying attention to the crowd right now. He's just trying to focus on getting this done type of thing. So that was good. John Cena dominates the beginning portions of this matchup. He hits a really good fisherman suplex on Punk, but he kicks out of it. CM Punk hits a drop kick. Cena kicks out of that. He hits a really good sweat and neck breaker onto Cena, and Cena kicks out of that. Then Punk just starts dominating Cena. He does a lot of chin locks, just dominating the neck area of Cena. Cena mounts a little bit of a comeback. He hits a
CM Punk chin lock.
Cena hits a clothesline, nearly taking CM Punk's head off, which was awesome. He hits a really good throwback bulldog, which was awesome. But Punk kicks out of all that stuff. Eventually, CM Punk starts attacking Cena. He throws him into the post. He throws him out of the ring. He drops him and does like a guillotine knee drop while he's on like the top turnbuckle, and he does this right in front of Colt Cabana and Ace Steel.
And they were loving every bit of it too. They're like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, fuck him up.
That's our boy.
And Punk just starts dominating Cena. He gets him into a head scissors and just starts laying in elbow strikes onto Cena. He does like a neck crank onto Cena, but Cena kicks out of that. Punk hits a really good suplex onto Cena, but Cena kicks out of that. Then Cena starts him out to come back. He hits the shoulder tackles, and he goes for the protoplex. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone counter the protoplex like this, where CM Punk counters it into a roll-up.
Yeah! That was really awesome. Yeah, I don't think anybody's ever done that, yeah.
And the shock on John Cena's face when he thought that he was beaten right there. Like, that was awesome right there.
That was great.
And eventually he is able to hit the protoplex, and he goes for the 5-knuckle shuffle, but Punk immediately pops up into a drop kick, and he crouches Cena onto the ropes, and he does the knee drop while Cena's against the ropes, and he falls onto the floor, and Punk covers him, but Cena kicks out. Then Cena finally does the 5-knuckle shuffle. He goes for the AA. Punk was supposed to land on his feet, but he didn't quite catch his footing, but it's fine. It happens sometimes. So
makes the match more real, like it's a struggle anyway. I like elements of that when it's done right. Because he went right back up and fucking tried to, capitalize. So
and then
Page versus Punk at Double or Nothing comes to mind.
Yeah, because he tried to buckshot Lariat and realized, oh wow, this is harder than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Punk hits a kick to the head. Cena kicks out of that. Cena goes for the avalanche AA, and Punk counters into a Hurricanrana, but Cena kicks out of that. Cena finally hits the AA after like 3 times struggling, but Punk kicks out. He immediately locks him into the STF. Punk gets to the ropes. I think he locks him in again, and then Punk counters it into the Anaconda Vice, and I couldn't believe he was able to pull this off.
Dude, the crowd erupted when he was able to counter it, too, because after a second STF, that usually ended the match, too, for a lot of guys. Triple H, they remembered WrestleMania 22. So the fact that they kind of went back to that callback, and then Punk reversed it into his submission,
yeah, that's awesome.
Long-term storytelling, it's great.
CM Punk hits a GTS. He doesn't get all of it. He gets it into the ribs, and Cena rolls out of the ring. I forgot to mention at one point, there's 2 spots I want to mention before I break down the finish. CM Punk doing the suicide dive, and John Cena hitting the suplex on the outside onto Punk.
That
right
was
in front
so
of Cabana.
good. Yeah, right in front of Colt and Ace, yeah. Loved that little dramatic moment there, yeah.
And then Cena, Punk puts Cena in the ring, and Vince McMahon and Laurinaitis come out because they realize that they're in doomed territory now. And Punk goes into the ring. Cena takes his head off with a clothesline, lays him out with an AA, and it locks Punk in the STF. And Vince tries to do the Montreal screw job, and Laurinaitis runs over, and Cena takes his head off with a clothesline.
Yeah, and he sends him in, and boy, he stiffs the fuck out of Johnny Ace with it too. And
I should say at this point, I didn't even know Laurinaitis was a wrestler at this time. I just thought, I mean, obviously, I just thought he took. I didn't know he had in-ring experience anyways prior to this. I just thought like he just practiced the bump ahead of time and all that type of stuff. But
no, he was a wrestler. He wasn't good, but he was a wrestler.
And Cena tells Vince that he's gonna do this his way. The match isn't gonna end that way. And I like this because immediately following this,
and Vince was like, ring the bell, and you could see emotion. And then the minute Vince is shut down by Cena, he's back to that. Oh God. Oh no. And then when Punk hits the GTS and covers him for the 1, 2, 3, Cole goes, "Oh my God! Oh my God!" Silence on commentary as the crowd is deafening.
You would have thought the streak had just ended.
Yeah, I think the thing I like about this the most is basically it was all Vince's fault
because he tried to screw him and it fucked him and it fucked Cena and it fucked everybody. And then Vince is like, that didn't just happen. That didn't just happen. Oh my god. Oh my god! And he runs over. As Cole says, ladies and gentlemen, in 1 hour and 14 minutes, CM Punk is no longer
employed by this company.
Yeah.
And then Vince goes, cut the music! Cut it! Cut it! Cut that music!
He takes Lawler's headset off too.
All right,
Get Alberto.
Give me Alberto. Get him down here. Have him cash in. Come on, have him cash in. Go.
And by the way, we should mention too. I like that it was you could tell WWE had no plans to cash in the briefcase prior to this too.
Love that little element of it as well. Yeah, and Del Rio's running. He's hauling ass, trying to cash it in. Punk boots him right in the head with a high kick, and Punk with a shit-eating grin, like, nice try, gotcha, bitch. Grabs the title, blows a kiss, which they originally miss at first. They then edit it back in after the fact. But Vince, you could see Vince's reaction is the reason why they wanted to keep it on Vince, because Vince is like, no, and Punk goes, leaves through the crowd, holds the title up, and the crowd are rabid by this point. You would have thought that they just won the fucking Stanley Cup, the Super Bowl, whatever. You would have thought that fucking Chicago White Sox won the World Series at that point.
Yeah.
Like, this
they had back in 05. Cubs would have been a better.
Yeah, Cubs. Sorry, Chicago Cubs would have won the World Series. Like, they went nuts for this.
Had it been me in Phil's spot, I would have, before I jumped the barricade, I would have run over and leveled Vince with the belt.
I love the fact that he didn't even need to. I love that. He didn't need to attack the owner of the company. He already proved his point. Where Austin was the one who physically harmed Vince, he harmed him emotionally and mentally. And I love that dynamic with those two. Punk always hit harder with his words on the chairman, where Vince always hit harder with his actions.
Yeah. But this was awesome right here. We agree. We always talked about this match was 5 stars. This angle was 5 stars. It was absolutely wonderful. It led into obviously it made people want to watch Raw. It left the pay-per-view with a cliff.
The WWE champion will no longer be employed by the company after this night, and he just won the belt. What the fuck does this mean for the company?
Not just him, too. John Cena is going to get fired, by the way, too.
Yeah, Cena's going to get fired. Yeah, and then... So they're losing 2 of their top stars. You have no idea what's about to fucking happen come Monday night. All capped off with Punk going back to his hotel room, or his actual apartment room in Chicago, and putting his title in the refrigerator. And sending it on social media a minute before his contract expires, which nobody brings up that fact. It was a minute before his contract expired.
He put the championship in the fridge?
Yeah, a minute before his contract expired, like he's retiring the belt. I love that! I love that he went to the sports route, too, with it. That was great. Great callback.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's so good, this angle. This is so good! Sorry.
Yeah, this was awesome. I think this time around, before we say... This is kind of a retrospect. We'll say what happens with this angle. I'll say it first, because I feel like if James says it...
It was rushed. It was rushed.
Yeah, but we'll talk about it. Let's give a letter grade for this show. I'm going to go S rank. I think this show's awesome.
Yeah. You know what? I was tempted to go A+, because of the women's match. And we talked about it on here. We bumped it up to 3 stars. If you have all your matches go above 3 stars, and you have a number of them go 4.5, 4.25, 4.5 again, 5 stars, right?
And your main event is a 5-star game changer?
And it's a fucking hot angle that runs all throughout the show?
Mm-hmm.
That's an
S-rank show.
That is an S-rank show.
Booyah, kasha. I loved every bit of this show, even though Divas match, because of the reasons mentioned. This show is top fucking tier, man. If you're a wrestling fan, you owe it to yourself to watch this show.
This show is goated.
If you were probably the best, one of the best WWE main roster pay-per-views produced by Vince ever.
Ever. Even over all the Attitude Era stuff, I'd actually argue that this is right up there with WrestleMania X7. Period, bar none. This is right up there with it. Every match delivered. Every match was fun. Nothing felt boring.
Well, every match that needed to delivered.
Yes, and the matches that didn't were still funny. That it was enjoyable. And if you go by the logic, I mean, China and Ivory wasn't exactly a fucking banger, so
no,
yeah,
and it worked.
Also too, you felt like at least every match had planning behind it too, like the Mark Henry Big Show match, the World Heavyweight Title match, and
you could tell shit was altered. You could tell shit was altered heavily to be better. Because they didn't have plans for Brian to win the briefcase. I'm not even sure they had plans for Del Rio to win the briefcase, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, he's a prick, we know this, but we didn't know it at the time, but I don't think they had plans to do that. They obviously, like, they had a lot of young guys on this card. Some of them wouldn't be pushed after this, unfortunately, but they had a lot of young guys, a lot of young talent, young guns in both ladder matches. You had
got a lot of good shine.
You got a great fucking big hoss fight between Big Show and Henry. You got a great fucking world title match between Christian and fucking Orton with a great fucking angle.
I would actually argue strictly because of their size and therefore limited mobility, at least to a point. I would actually argue that the Big Show Henry match over-delivered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it did.
Especially with what happened, it does what it needs to do too.
Yeah,
so.
It does what it needs to do, and then some.
And a lot of matches with some great angles. Henry and Show, Orton and Christian, Punk and Cena. You know, fucking Del Rio, he has his own little angle. Vince McMahon trying to sign Punk all throughout the night. Like, what a great fucking show, man! Like, you can't get better than this in 2011.
Vince constantly likes to say the whole night is a story. This is that done right.
Yes.
Yeah. I think, too, why this show was so fantastic, you felt like there was a change happening in the industry. You felt like WWE was going to finally, or wrestling in general, was going to have a boom period.
Yeah.
The reason I say that, let me, don't say anything, James. They ruined that in like a month. A month.
I'd probably say 2.
I will be nice. I will be nice and say they ruined it right after the Royal Rumble. I will give them that. Only because TLC, Daniel Bryan won the world title, Zack Ryder won the US title, and CM Punk won the WWE title for the second time, even though he never should have fucking lost, Hunter. But that's beside the point. They already made amends, whatever. I'd say the storytelling was way better than it had any right to be. It felt like the Attitude Era again for like a hot minute. They were doing a lot of hot angles. They were trying to make everything feel as exciting as possible. And they were doing a fairly decent job. And then the Royal Rumble 2012 happened. Because
that's fair.
The dirt sheets wanted to spoil the winner of the Royal Rumble. And Jericho was fucking robbed of his Rumble win. So,
for the first time. It wouldn't be the last.
It wouldn't be the last. You're right. You're correct.
But yeah, let's talk about why I think they kind of screw it up.
Go ahead. I mean, yeah, we know Punk.
Yeah, the next night was still hot. They, ousted Vince as chairman of the board, and Triple H became fully in power because right around this time anyway.
Oh, right. This is the Vince you were relieved of your duties night.
Yep. And, they basically Triple H kind of started to become more hands-on in the authoritative role anyways behind the scenes, so they just turned it into a storyline. Then they brought back CM Punk 8 days later, which didn't make sense. Really
I would have waited. Again, this comes from Adam. I'd have waited till the Rumble.
I think it's funny that they just had Punk sign as well instead of doing the angle. I guess you could tell Vince was still heavily involved because he didn't want it to happen, but I would have loved it if he took the belt to the places he said he wanted to.
Yeah.
Fuck,
I think he did
because while it is true that your belt is no longer in the company, this means that your workhorse titles, US in this case, the US and Intercontinental title, almost an international title, suddenly have a chance to become more prominent and important to the weekly viewership, and On the other side of it, you're seeing the WWE champion in all these places. People are going to go, wait a minute. The WWE champion is here. What the fuck's going on back on Raw and SmackDown?
Yeah, there was one thing that Blampied said that I disagreed with. I would love it if Vince went the route of give Cena the belt again, so that you have those two titles, the two WWE champions. Which one's the real world's champion? That would be interesting.
It worked for Shawn and Razor. Why wouldn't it work for Cena and Punk?
Well, don't forget they had the World Heavyweight title still at this time, by the way, too. So they could have done that too.
Yes, very true.
I would have. This is what I would have done if I was in Punk. And hear me out. I know this sounds crazy, right? But retrospective booking, fantasy booking series, people go check it out on this channel. What I would have done is I would have had Punk gone to, of all fucking places, CCW. And the reason this is the perfect backdrop for this little nugget, right?
Is Jon Moxley still there at the time?
He might be. Him and John would be a great fucking match. Especially at that time. Him and Nick Gage? Fuck. Nick Gage was on fucking fire at that point. He drops the belt in the trash. The spinner belt. As Cena won it like 2 weeks before, right? And then he brings out either the Winged Eagle or the Undisputed style world titles.
I would probably go with the Undisputed style.
I would too, but you could easily go the Winged Eagle way, just because of the historical context of it. I would love if he did that. And then you have all three world champions in the WWE fight it out to be the Undisputed champion. That's what I would have done.
So this would be Cena, Punk, and who?
Cena, Punk, and Bryan. That would have been the match I'd book. Because Daniel Bryan and fucking Cena tore it up in SummerSlam 2013. Cena and Punk always did great. Him and Bryan.
But you can't book that match because Cena's going to fight The Rock at WrestleMania. Unless you talk about Mania, because Cena's going to fight The Rock.
No, I'm talking about at SummerSlam. Or no, maybe not necessarily at SummerSlam, but you could do it at the Rumble.
You could do it at any point between Survivor Series and the Rumble.
I would do it at the Rumble. Fuck it.
Yeah, that way no one breaks the hate storyline. So you've got
yeah.
I saved a lot of bullshit. There you go.
Or at the very least, you can at least embrace the hate in a way that's interesting.
True, actually, true.
Because once the belt is off Cena, and especially because you really should be leaving Zack Ryder alone.
Yeah.
That feud, that angle can heat John Cena up for The Rock that much better and that much more.
Yeah.
And James' storyline can then, I don't know if you've seen how Adam booked Embrace the Hate. It can lead to Adam.
That's the whole thing I'm talking about.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. So yeah, but there's a little fantasy booking for y'all. But there you go.
Continuing, again, they brought CM Punk 8 days later. He did beat Cena at SummerSlam, fair enough. Then they stupidly had him get laid out by Kevin Nash. Cashed in the briefcase, and then he wasn't even the title picture the next month. He lost to Triple H. He took the fall in the Hell in a Cell match. It was just another guy in the match. Then he was in the tag match with CM Punk and Triple H versus Awesome Truth. He took the fall in that match, and then he does finally win the belt. But he should have been way over than he was when he won that, when he was champion at Survivor Series. Like, holy shit!
He was still decently over. He was still decently over, though. I will say, I think while he should have put him over anyway, I think everybody's saying that he wasn't white hot still is lying to themselves, because
that's fair.
We need to fucking remember, this guy, at the height of his championship run, even though he wasn't main eventing, was outselling Cena in merchandise.
He was.
That's a fact. And that's a huge accomplishment. Fuck the fucking main event of WrestleMania, man. That's all he needs there. And he even said it on the Cabana podcast. Like, that's my ticket to fame right there. You know?
I just think sometimes, like this, had they done the CM Punk storyline and not rushed him coming back, just how much big of a star he would have been. And think about where we'd be now. Like, the industry would be in a much better place.
Yeah, but if you do it that way, if that doesn't happen, you don't get AEW, and you don't get a booming wrestling scene, though. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So if WWE is booked right, you don't have a decent competition like Impact and New Japan and AEW running around. Like you just don't have it. New Japan would still have a footprint, but it wouldn't be nearly as bad if Punk remained with the company and all was right with Punk's run, which is fucked up to say, and it sucks that it has to be that way, but at the same time,
that sucks.
We got a great product now. We got a better indie business. I mean, despite what the last fucking year has been like, to be fucking honest. But, you were going to say, Casey. You were going to say.
Well, I mean, hey, the booking may not be as on point as we felt it had been for the past couple of years. But you know what? Sonata is finally IWGP Heavyweight Champion. I can't complain.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair.
But yeah,
which by the way, did you watch that? I know you sometimes call New Japan after the fact with Noah.
I don't. We do. We're gonna be doing. When's Dominion? Or did Dominion already pass?
It already happened.
I was gonna say I think Dominion already happened.
Yeah, the only way we could do it is we only do Wrestle Kingdom, and we'll do shows that are in America.
We're gearing up for the G1 now, so.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of which, guys, subscribe to Noah's channel because this motherfucker's going to be back with Noah, and so is Zero, and hopefully Jack, to do some coverage of the G1. So, it's going to be fun.
So, before we end this off, I feel like we should mention some stuff, by the way. Some facts about this show. The CM Punk John Cena match on the Wrestling Observer got a 5-star rating. That's significant because no match in WWE had gotten a 5-star rating since Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker in the Hell in a Cell match at Bad Blood. Bad Blood 1997. Yeah, that was a long time.
That is so fucking... I always give Meltzer shit because there are so many matches that I can think of that deserve that 5-star. And, that there should be a lot fucking more. There really should be. You could tell he has a fucking hard-on for fucking WWE over.
And this was, by the way, I hate to tell you this too, James. This would be the last main roster WWE match that would get a 5-star rating system for years on the main roster.
There was some justifiable reasons for that after. I will give him that. However, Jericho and Punk should have been rated higher. Punk and Daniel Bryan should have been rated higher. Probably got the 5. Definitely that should have gotten 5-star.
Do you want to know what the match was that finally got 5 stars again on the main roster? I think you know the match.
I forget now.
It was Cody, Seth, and the Hell in a Cell match.
That was fucking ridiculous. Yeah, matches. There's so many matches. Daniel Bryan Cena 2013 should have gotten 5-star.
Yeah.
Hunter and fucking Triple H. Or no, I'm Hunter and Triple H. Oops. Hunter and Triple H fights Hunter Hearst Helmsley. No, sorry, I meant Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 30 in the opener. That should have gotten 5. That should have absolutely gotten 5.
And this,
Shield versus the Wyatt should have gotten 5.
Yeah, but other notable things. This show won best major wrestling pay-per-view, not just wrestling pay-per-view. Any pay-per-view, like even the UFC, atop some of UFC shows they were doing.
Yeah,
and
rightly so.
And it's the last WWE. It's the last show, anything WWE that won best show on the Wrestling Observer newsletter awards, which is insane.
I would probably go so far as to call this the last truly great WWE pay-per-view.
Yep.
In the Vince era.
Yeah.
In the Vince era, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I would say so. What else is the CM Punk John Cena match when they've made lists on WWE on the WWE website and other lists is in the top 5 of best matches of all time type of thing.
Yeah.
The DVD sales for this match was insane. It was very highly reviewed in DVDs, which is just a really weird thing.
Yeah, CM Punk on the DVD got them huge fucking numbers. I remember being on the cover.
And I typically don't talk about the next year's pay-per-view, but This just shows you how successful the show was and how much they dropped the next year. The 2012 Money in the Bank event received 188,000 purchases, a drop of 3.6%. That just shows you how much they dropped in quality and how much just how widely regarded this show was and everything like that.
Yeah, so we were lucky to get a show this good in that time period.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, but anyhow, that's basically. Any other facts you guys want to throw at me about Money in the Bank 2011?
Not so much a fact about Money in the Bank, just a question. I noticed you don't have a spoon this time. Who is that in your hand? Is that Shinsuke?
It's Shinsuke, yeah.
What a fucking sentence, you know? Only on FTW would you ask, I noticed you don't have a spoon in your hand. What is that in your hand? Who is that? Is that Shinsuke?
Let's be more specific. Only FTW Productions that Owen Finch is on, too.
yes, exactly. Oh yeah, but yeah. By the way,
I love by the way how it wasn't even about the pay-per-view. He's just not so much a fact, but a question.
yeah, not even about the pay-per-view. Just hey, you know what? Can you fucking what Shinsuke reenact the Kelly bump?
Oh, I think it was like this.
Yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Could this end the show that way? Like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, first we should give. I keep forgetting to do this. I always remember at the end of the show. I should probably remind you. The thumbnails and every thumbnail from this point going forward is done by Michael X. He does really good on the thumbnails.
Yeah, shout out Mike X, man. He fucking killed it with this thumbnail.
Can you remind me to do it at the beginning of the video? Because I always have to keep forgetting every time. He's probably waiting for his.
I always put him in the description. I've been putting them in the description on everyone. Don't worry, he knows.
But he probably watched the video.
Yeah, shout out for him, man. He's doing fucking bits with that. He's gonna be doing thumbnails for all of Owen's shit plus thumbnail. I think with the exception of fantasy booking, depends. But he's also going to be doing thumbnails for the Indie Force as well going forward. I think we're going to keep. I think it's going to be like a half and half joint with me and him. It takes a while of fucking work off my plate, so I appreciate it. So,
I mean, I realize how lucky I am. I have a lot of people willing to help me do this stuff, and I'm just here showing up a little bit then. So
yeah, you know what? I had a hell of a time reviewing the show. Now, speaking of FTW Productions, while we do our plugs, it's not rundown, but you get the point. Here is a preview video of what's upcoming, or actually, no, not upcoming, on demand for FTW Productions. It's out of my hands, but I'm still in control. It's out of my hands.
Scan the QR codes to see what's upcoming for FTW Productions and what's available on demand right now. Button Master Stable Wars entire playlist. FTW Productions Watch Party for WrestleMania Go Home Raw. Mistress Audio Dramatic Readings featuring voice actors from Weymouth Youth Wrestling. All Retro Wrestling Review Series videos on demand and upcoming. All WrestleMania themed retros available now on demand. Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order Let's Play Series. WrestleMania 19 Revenge Mode Let's Play Series. All of A Simple Man's Brand's Simply Predicting panels. Both episodes of The Don DeMarco Show. AEW Spark, WWE Aftershock, every show week by week. Indie Force Episode 26, available now on demand. Jeff Meacham Network, all watch-along events. AEW Double or Nothing Dynamite Go Home Show Watch Party, available now on demand. A Simple Take, WWE Simple Takes featuring Cassidy 18 Studios. Super Mario Bros. Z voice acting. Episode 3 coming soon. Breaking news. ATW View Impromptu. WYW Intro and Immortal Stream. Wrestling with Idiocy Episode 8. Fast Food and Restaurants discussion. Plugs have concluded. On to the video.
So that's everything you can expect to see on this channel. But there's stuff incoming that we have announced. Or that we're going to announce. Let's start with Casey, because he's got the least amount of stuff to plug.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at ctroop19, Twitch Luke12 Lynch, YouTube Luke Lynch. Subscribe to Insanity Works Incorporated. I've got a couple of adventure vlogs that are in the can. I just need to get up off my ass and edit them, which has not been the easiest thing to do since Tears of the Kingdom dropped. I've been kind of on a Zelda kick for the past 2 months, so...
I can always edit it. I'm not doing much of anything. I'll just do it after I get his shit done. Just saying. But yeah, that's coming out. And then we also have, on that channel, we do have Button Masters in the works. I think we're going to eventually start the Super Mario Sunshine 100% walkthrough finally, because I don't know what else a lot of us can really do. So, that's what we'll do. We'll do Super Mario Sunshine 100% walkthrough journey. That should take us into the next year, because that game is a long time to fucking get everything done, especially if you're a noob like me. But yeah, that's what's coming up.
I've done it a few times. I can confirm it takes a while.
It takes a bit. You have to get every blue coin. It's a pain in the ass.
It is a pain in the goddamn balls.
Yes. So, there you go. But yeah, you can check that out. You can check me out on youtube.com/user/JHEBERTSIDE95. What's on the channel right now is the Indie Force, which you saw a QR code for. We will be coming back in the next week or two with another Indie Force episode. I forget if it was 26 or 27, but the very next episode will be coming up. So be on the lookout for that one. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of stuff. One of which, the main event topic, will be updated shit that's coming up with WYW. I don't think we've done that in a while, because we did I watched a Throwback Thursday on JJ's channel, and I realized we talked about our pay-per-view schedule, which has since changed. So we got a lot to update the people on. So we're probably going to talk about that. At least that's the tentative main event, unless something completely fucking, monumental happens, and the world is ending or some shit. With this fucking world, I don't know. Never could be too sure. But yeah, be on the lookout for that. And... yeah, I think other than that, the only thing I have to plug is tune in for the AEW Collision Watch-Along, which is going to be airing on my channel, Noah's channel, Jeff Meacham's channel, and JJ Williams' channel. Check all that out coming up for the Watch-Alongs. So, there you go.
All right, so as for my stuff, you can check out WWE Aftershock, which will be released on Monday because it's going to be recorded Sunday. And then you're going to check out AEW Spoke. In the future now, we've worked out a system where Noah and I, and possibly Zero, if he can get on board, are going to record it Sundays now, and it will be released on Mondays. It's the only way we can do this now where I can be on because, let's just say, last-minute stuff that's in the way on Tuesdays now. Where basically, I just crash and go to bed because I worked all day. So we realized that basically that's the only way that I can do this, and Noah, it takes some hassle off of Noah's
Also can confirm it will be a 3-man booth. It will be you, Noah, and Zero. I already asked him to do it. Casey can confirm as well because I made the call to him. So there you go.
And then we have some retros coming up. The biggest retro that's coming up next is we're going to do NXT TakeOver London. So that way Money in the Bank, since it's in the UK, we'll get a UK show in. And that covers All In also, because that's not All In. No, yeah, All In. Because that's also in the UK. So that, yes. Again, that's a crossover retro. So.
Yeah, and we also did a crossover retro last year. So go check out the SummerSlam 92 retro, which was a fun retro. So.
Yeah. And then
unless you're a British Bulldog fan, in which case you might want to avoid that one.
Oh yeah, because we shit a lot on Bulldog, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we do.
And if you want to check out any other shows themed around Money in the Bank, check out WrestleMania retros from 21 to 26 because that kind of goes into the Money in the Bank retros because there's Money in the Bank ladder matches on those shows. So you can check those out.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're going to try to squeeze in another Money in the Bank if we can, but if we can't, we can't. Because I don't really feel like I feel like this one kind of complements that, but we'll see. And then a big announcement. This is why we're kind of trying to dial back on the retros a little bit, so James can focus on this. New content is going to be coming to Own the Talkinator. I've been saying this for months, but now it's looking very promising. It's gonna be recorded June 22nd, and a new video will be out on June 23rd. There'll be 2 new videos out, so that would be great.
That will also be the home as well. Make this announcement now for Content in Review, which is the show that used to air on my channel. That is now moving to Owen the Talkinator, and Owen is going to be the new co-host. So it's basically, while it's on his channel, it's my production, but still gonna have it on his channel. So be on the lookout for that, as well as Character Select, which is a full me production. He may show up, but otherwise, I think it's going to be probably me and Zero deal because we have 2 tournaments, CPU style. Basically, what that show is going to be is Character Select is we select characters and have them fight it out in a simulation. And we're doing 2 huge tournaments as the kickoff. One is going to be PMAX Remix, which is mine, and the other one is going to be Mugen, which is from Zero. So that's coming up. And, yeah, be on the lookout for all of that on the Owen the Talkinator YouTube channel. And I just unplugged my headphones. Jesus Christ. Continue.
Uh-oh. I hope that doesn't affect the sound, but it's the end of the video. So that's pretty much it, guys. And if you guys can hear me, I don't know. Since we're possibly talking to you in the past, and this is coming out in the future.
We are talking to them in the past, buddy.
Yeah, I screwed it up. I screwed it up. It's ass late. So
it's been, not only is it ass late, it's also been a while since you've done one of these on a recording as opposed to a live stream.
No, that's not. I just happened to screw it up. It's also to I've been talking for like the past 3 hours. So.
Yeah, it has been 3 hours. So I'll do your catchphrases, okay? Since this is being recorded in the past, and Kelly broke her face, talk to you in the future.
Her ribs, actually.
Her ribs, you're right. We'll talk to you in the future. Bye, everyone.
We doing all the classics, you heard it, then I grabbed it. Flow like Method Man, then run like I'm Rabbit. Soon as I hear the bass line, it be my FaceTime. Music's in my veins, so just in case I'm without my iPod or a media player, I'll check my...